Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon, everybody. So, how many people have joined? Mahak, Roshan, Akshay, Siddharth, Gopal. All of you open your camera, please. All of you. Yeah. Any question by anybody before others are joining? Any question by anybody? Mahak, Akshay, Yash, Siddharth, Gopal. Any question?
No, sir.
Yeah. कोई सवाल है?
No, sir.
चार बज चुका है भाई. Where are others? 6, 7 people have joined. 6 people have joined. So 9 people have joined. You see, all of you open your camera, please. All of you. Anyone have got any question? Any question by anybody? No question. Go every day we are starting late. कितना हो गया आपके घड़ी में?
4-1.
मैं आधा घंटा पहले लॉग इन कर लेता हूँ. And then of course I joined somewhere about near 4. All of you open your camera. Prince, Ashish, Vivek, Aryan, Adarsh, all of you open your camera. All of you. 3 people have joined by now. Your size is, your batch size is big, na? 40 people are there, na?
Less than 40, sir.
So 40 though at least 35 should join. We have got only 16 people.
It's near about 30.
It's near about 30. So in the other batch there was, ठीक है. So वो confusion हो जाता है हमेशा दो batch में. Because that batch is against 40. क्या करें? कितना इंतजार करें? फिर वो अमिताभ बच्चन का गाना याद आ जाता है. इंतजार हो गई, इंतहा हो गई. याद है आपको? कौन सी फिल्म का गाना था? लेट मी सी. यश, पुराने पिक्चर कहाँ देखते होगे यार? आप लोग सब नए पिक्चर देखते होगे. दैट वाज अ मूवी ऑफ अमिताभ बच्चन व्हेन ही वाज यंग.
किशोर कुमार का था, ये पता है.
किशोर कुमार तो भाई शराबी फिल्म का था गाना. All of you open camera, and now we are going to start. We cannot wait for long because it's more than 5 minutes. And I believe by this time everybody should join. Ashish, Siddharth, please open your camera. Adarsh, Narendra, Vineet, all of you, please open your camera, please. Let me not repeat it again and again and again. Because this is implied. Is it implied? When you're attending any class, you have to be there. Now we are not having a classroom class, we are having an online, so it is implied that all of you should be there. And by only if your camera is on, then only we can judge whether you are there or not. So we are going to talk about fifth chapter. Before I start, again I will start. If we have got any question, any one of you, with respect to whatever we have done. Any question? No question? चलिए तो आगे बढ़ते हैं फिर. Now you have been hearing this sentence. Mutual fund is subject to market risk. Please read the scheme related document carefully before investing. So we are going to talk about that scheme related document. चलिए मैंने एक बात कल आपसे पूछा था. सबसे बड़ा रिस्क क्या है? Let me, how many of you remember? We keep on talking about risk.
Not
Let me ask you.
Not knowing the risk.
Not
Risk
Yes,
ना पता
absolutely right. Very good, Bahar. ये पहला चीज हो गया. Not knowing the risk. We should know the risk. That's first thing. And the second thing is, of course, risk is there. So what will be the adverse impact of the risk? That's the second thing. So I would always say risk is not a big thing because the risk is there. I mean, for everything we have got a risk. But the biggest risk is not knowing the risk. The biggest risk is not knowing the adverse impact of the risk. And the biggest risk is not knowing how to manage that risk. Once you are through with these three things, then फिर तो विजय ही विजय है. Is it or not? Chali, so now we are going to talk about those things only. So how I will know about risk and all other things? So now SEBI has made it mandatory whenever any money to be raised from public, whether it's equity or through debt or through mutual fund, there has to be a complete disclosure. That we have done it in our earlier chapter. There has to be a complete disclosure. Now, in case of a mutual fund, three documents are prepared, which is mandatory document as per regulator requirement. These are also called legal document. Scheme information document, statement of additional information, and key information memorandum. That has to be prepared. So whenever, let's say, somebody wants to launch a scheme, all these things have to be launched before the money is mobilized from the public. Scheme information document has got each and every detail of the scheme which has been floated. And statement of additional information is having the statutory information about the mutual fund or the AMC that is offering the scheme. So SAI, SID and SAI. Generally, SAI is an extension of SID. So it's a part of that only. Simultaneously, it is prepared. Both are public documents available on the website of the SEBI as well as AMFI as well as also on the website of the AMC, which is launching this scheme. Now, these are the primary source of information for any investor. Because as I told you, if I want to know anything about the fund, anything about the scheme, all the informations are there. This is also an operating document. When I'm saying operating document, it means whatever has been mentioned there, the fund has to abide by that. It cannot even happen that you have mentioned something else in the SID and you're operating in a different way. Everything has to follow the same, whatever has been mentioned. It is also an operating document for the investor also. I mean, they can get all the information about this. And the most important thing is whether this fund is suitable for me or not. This scheme is suitable for me or not. You'll get from that by reading a lot of information there. Now, how it is prepared, let me tell you. All of you must have taken admission in some college. So when you have gone there, the admission form is the same for everybody. Is it or not? Just you are going to write your name. That's the name of the student. Vatsal will write his name. Mahak will write her name. Akshay is going to write his name, date of birth, father name, address, all the personal details, everything. You fill it up. The admission form is the same for everybody. The particulars are different depending upon who the person is. Same thing is here. The format or the template is same, uniform for all the scheme. Just it has to be filled up. So let's say whenever some AMC is thinking of launching the scheme, they will take the formal approval of the board of their directors as well as the trustee, and then they will prepare a SIT and SAI in the format which has been given by the SEBI. It has to be filled up. In case the fund AMC wants to furnish some more information, and they can put it up. SEBI will go through it. If SEBI wants some more information, they can ask for it. So again, the AMC has to provide that. If SEBI has got any objections, they will raise it. So all these things will happen. Finally, when SEBI is okay, you have filled up, given up all the information in the desired form, whatever is required, then SEBI vets the document. SEBI does not approve or disapprove. Is it clear? SEBI is not approving or disapproving the scheme. SEBI is just vetting the document. So whatever is asked for, you have furnished it. For Akshay, जैसे एग्जांपल है अक्षय इंग्लिश नाम है, तो कॉलेज ये नहीं बोलेगा कि अक्षय कुमार क्यों नहीं नाम है आपका, या अक्षय खन्ना क्यों नहीं नाम है. समझ में आया अक्षय? अक्षय बहुत सीरियस दिख रहा है, इसलिए थोड़ा सा उसके चेहरे पे स्माइल लाना जरूरी है. अक्षय, व्हाई यू आर लुकिंग सो सीरियस? यू आर लुकिंग वेरी सीरियस. चलो, ध्यान दे रहे हो तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. मतलब मन में कुछ और चल रहा है तो उसको थोड़ी देर के लिए हटा. सो आई मीन सेबी डज नॉट अप्रूव और डिसअप्रूव. सो डोंट थिंक कि सेबी बोल रहा है कि भैया आप इसमें इन्वेस्ट करो. इज इट क्लियर? सेबी इज जस्ट सेइंग यस, व्हाटएवर इंफॉर्मेशन आर देयर, इट इज लेफ्ट फॉर द इन्वेस्टर टू डिसाइड whether this is suitable for me, right for me or not. And if the investor has left up to you, this is for you to take a right decision. Okay? So what are things covered in SID? The cover page, name of the scheme, open-ended, closed-ended, equity, balance, all these things are there. Content में आपको ये सारी चीजें हैं, which we are going to talk about. Now the important information which has to be looked into is name and type of the scheme. For example, let's say if I say Access Small Cap Fund. From the name itself, what you can judge? Access Small Cap Fund.
Invest in small cap equity.
Money is it's a small cap fund. This is very simple. Small cap means equity. Cap आ गया तो आपको equity आ गया, and in within equity money majorly invested in small cap. So from the name of itself you will get an idea. Type of scheme, open-ended, closed-ended, all those things are there mentioned. Objective of the scheme. Now I have already told you, every scheme is having a defined objective. When the scheme is made itself, that time only there is an internal brainstorming what the people are looking for. And then based on that only the scheme is made. So ये बात आप ध्यान रखिएगा, whatever schemes are made, it is meant for some people because there are people. So people have got different needs, different preferences. So objective of the scheme. And what should happen? Now investor know what is their objective for what they are investing, and the scheme objective is there. Is it or not? So if it is meeting and matching your requirement, that scheme is meant for you. So objective is there, which clearly states what it is going to deliver by investing where all those things are there. Then, if you want to know more, what are the investment policies? What will be the investment universe? What will be the asset allocation strategy? Where the scheme will invest? They are not going to talk about which company. Please make a note of it. They will give you a broad idea. ये नहीं बोलेंगे कि इन्फोसिस में इन्वेस्ट करेंगे और विप्रो में करेंगे, ये नहीं बताएंगे आपको. Is it clear? So they will say, boss, what type of equity or debt or they will do. What will be the investment strategy, style? What are the fundamental attributes? Fundamental attributes means the basic feature of the scheme. Every scheme has got a risk, or we have already talked about it. And SEBI has made it mandatory that for evaluating or knowing the risk of the fund, there has to be a comparative benchmark. That means the benchmark represents the type of market where the fund risk is exposed to. So, what is the benchmark? So, by looking at the benchmark, you can get an idea. For example, let's say SBI IT fund. The benchmark will be BSE, S&P, IT index. So, for every scheme, there is a benchmark. Who is a manager of the scheme? Fund manager, his qualification, till how many years he has been managing, all those things, a brief introduction about him. Is there any investment restriction? When the first time his scheme comes NFO, then of course there will not be any performance track record. But as after 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years, then there will be past performance track record will also be there, which will be mentioned. Suitability is the key. By looking at all these things, one can easily find it out whether this scheme is suitable for me or not. Now, who are the investors who are eligible to invest? Because there are some scheme, maybe it is restricted for some, not for all. So you'll get an idea whether the particular investor is eligible to invest or not. Riskometer and statement of suitability. I will be talking about it in coming slides and risk factors. Then type of scheme. Type of scheme when we are talking about open-ended, close-ended interval. What idea it gives me to me? From what for what I'm going to look at it. Open-ended, closed-ended interval.
Liquidity.
Yes, absolutely right, Mark. From entry-exit point of view, liquidity part of view, absolutely right. And when you want to look at the what will be the nature of the performance, risk return, then you have to look at the time of scheme portfolio. All of us know it about equity, hybrid debt, all those things. So you get an idea about that. Objective, if you look at it, I have made it bold and underlined because that's become the starting point. Is it clear? Objective becomes the starting point to know whether this fund is suitable for me or not. And in order to achieve the objective, money will be invested in which asset, what will be the asset allocation, what will be the investment universe, policy, strategy, everything is going to follow that. That all will be in line with the objective to deliver that objective. So that's why I have made it bold. Help investor match their objective with the scheme objective. Is it clear to all of you? How to go about it? Okay? So asset allocation, all those things are there. Have you seen this picture before? Any one of you? Just before I move ahead, I want to ask: has anyone invested in mutual fund? Any one of you? Any one of you? Farhan, you have invested? Anybody else? So only Farhan has invested. Chalo, theek hai. But anybody has seen this picture? No one. Any idea? Farhan, speak louder. Farhan, your voice is cracking. हाँ, go ahead. आपकी आवाज टूट रही है फरहान. फरहान थोड़ी सी maybe I don't know whether of earphone or what. हाँ, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now,
Yeah, absolutely. फरहान पता है मैं भी इसलिए ईयरफोन यूज नहीं करता हूँ because I've seen generally मतलब I have some classes I've tried but then I've found कि speaking like this is good. चलो anyway go ahead. हाँ.
yes, sir. At the time of starting the mutual funds, I see this the moderate risk and high risk. Moderate risk and low risk is the hybrid or the debt sense, and
Yes, अरे वाह फरहान आप तो मैं आगे जो बोलने वाला था पहले ही बोल दिए.
or
Good.
high risk and very high risk when you are equity based the total.
Yes. You're right, Farhan. So basically, SEBI has made it mandatory. Mandatory. This is mandatory. For each scheme, there has to be a riskometer where this diagram will be there. Low, low to moderate, moderate. So there are 6 compartments and there is a needle pointing in any of the compartments. So for this example, This scheme is falling under moderately high category. Some other scheme can be low to moderate. Some other scheme can be very high. So scheme wise it can vary. Now, please all of you pay attention. First, it is mandatory. And the second thing which I want to tell you, this is the first layer of understanding the risk of the product. First layer of understanding the risk of the product. Now, whichever fund you are investing in, whatever amount you are investing in, one thing is which nobody wants. What is that? One
Loss.
thing. Yes, absolutely right. That's it. You don't want to lose your money. You don't want, let's say if you have invested 5 lakh rupees, you don't want to lose even a single paisa. I mean, that's but evident for everybody. I mean, nobody's investing for a loss. So riskometer talks about that thing. Riskometer is not talking about the return. Is it clear? Riskometer is talking about how safe your principal is or the capital is which you are investing. Now, as rightly pointed out by Farhan, if you look at it, all debt funds will fall under this category. Is it not low or low to moderate? Generally, you will find hybrid falling under this category and equity falling under this category. Now, if your client sees this, please all of you pay attention. I'm going to ask a question. Let's say simultaneously he sees the debt fund where the riskometer is between low to moderate and equity very high. And we are also talking about principal at low risk or high risk. What can be his interpretation of this thing? What is going to say?
Void.
Hmm?
Very high risk वाला.
तो भैया भाग जाओ छोड़ दो मत करो bank FD is the best. You're absolutely right. No, why I'm telling you, because understanding the riskometer is very, very important. And I've seen people have not correctly interpreted it. Yes, absolutely. Because here we are talking about this. Now, let's simplify it. I'm going to ask you why that fund is in low to moderate and why equity is in high or very high. What could be the reason? You will never find equity fund in low or low to moderate. Let me tell you. You will never find. You'll find maximum it will go up to moderate high. Maximum. It will be in this side only, right hand side only. That will be in this side only.
So
Now one
because
question.
equity depends on market conditions,
Yeah, who has given the answer?
so we cannot
Others.
predict.
नहीं नहीं वो तो देखो आदर्श वो तो बात आपकी सही है बट हियर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट गो फ्रॉम द रिस्क पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू मार्केट कंडीशन पे तो सभी है बॉस इवन डेट इज आल्सो देयर डेट इज आल्सो देयर इट्स नॉट दैट डेट इज नॉट देयर देखो एक चीज आप लोग ध्यान रखो टुडे एवरीथिंग इज मार्केट लिंक पहले तो अपने दिमाग से हटा दो बात इज बैंक एफडी रिटर्न इज मार्केट लिंक गिव मी द आंसर
Yes, sir.
इज पीपीएफ मार्केट लिंक मैं सेफेस्ट ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट की बात कर रहा हूं सेफेस्ट इज एनएससी मार्केट लिंक एवरीथिंग इज मार्केटिंग अब आप देख कैसे रहो वो इंपॉर्टेंट है एवरीथिंग इज मार्केटिंग देयर इज नॉट अ सिंगल प्रोडक्ट लेट मी टेल यू विच इज नॉट मार्केटिंग एवरीथिंग इज मार्केटिंग again I'm going to back to the same question, why debt falling under this side and why equity on this side?
Because it ensures your capital does not, you don't lose your capital
Yes,
or a short
absolutely.
gains.
गेन नहीं गेन को भी थोड़ा साइड में कर दो बहुत सर गेन पे हम बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं अभी हम सिर्फ कैपिटल की बात
Capital की बात कर रहे हैं, हाँ.
I think because
देखो
of the
I'll tell you.
ownership,
Yeah, who is answering? Yeah, Farhan.
sir, I think because of the ownership, if you buy the equity, you get the percentage of the company, and your
नहीं
debt.
नहीं फिर again Farhan, when the moment you are saying percentage तो फिर वही you are talking about the gain. I'm not talking about the gain, my dear.
Sir, in equity, there is no obligation.
No,
obligation for payment, like some dividend.
नो, नहीं, चलो ठीक है, I'll give you the answer.
सर इक्विटी में लॉस ज्यादा हो सकता है, इसलिए रिस्क बहुत हाई
इक्विटी
है।
में
लॉस ज्यादा हो सकता है बहुत।
हाँ, बात सही है तुम्हारी, बट वो लॉस वाला पार्ट बाद में करेंगे, पहले तो हम अभी सेफ्टी वाली बात करें. I'll tell you. If you are investing in a debt fund manager is further investing in a debt security of different type, whatever it may be. We have talked earlier that every debt security issued by anybody has got certain fixed characteristics. If you remember, fixed income security, we have talked about it now. Fixed income means what? The coupon is fixed, frequency of coupon is fixed, when it will be paid, and maturity is fixed, when you're going to get back your principal. That means the cash flow is known. Is it or not? If you remember yesterday, I told you that the categorization of on the debt fund is on the McClure's duration. And what was McClure's duration? On a weighted average method, when the cash flow will be coming into the fund.
Coming.
Cash flow will be coming in. So why it is safe? Because you are investing money and fund manager is also further investing money. So what money will be coming back when there is certainty? Is it clear? That's why in equity, nothing is fixed. The cash flow is not fixed, not certain. That's why. Now coming back to one question. Now same. Now the moment you are saying very high, the client can say, am I going to lose money? And what is the answer? What is the answer? Please remember
Yes.
what I said. There is no, just hold on. There is no certainty what you are going to get. चलो अभी मैं एक डायलॉग बोलता हूँ और मैं देखता हूँ उसको कौन इंटरप्रेट करता है करेक्टली. इक्विटी के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. देयर इज नो सर्टेनिटी व्हाट यू आर गोइंग टू गेट, बट इन दिस अनसर्टेनिटी ऑल्सो देयर इज अ सर्टेनिटी. अब आप लोग को कंफ्यूज कर रहा हूं मैं, जवाब देना. इन दिस अनसर्टेनिटी ऑल्सो देयर इज अ सर्टेनिटी.
So if you know the risk.
No, आराम से मेक इट वेरी सिंपल. व्हाट डिड आई से? Are you going to lose money? बस सीधे देखो, उसी पे फोकस करो. What did I say? Yes, there is no certainty what you are going to get. There is a certainty in debt. होगी ना बात, cash flow is known, but here nothing is known. There is no certainty. So yes, it's uncertain. Am I going to lose money? Now my question is, in there is uncertainty, but in that uncertainty also there is a certainty. And just because in that uncertainty there is a in that uncertainty there is a certainty, you are not going to lose money. Can anybody interpret it?
Sir, certainty of getting 50% 50% chances है ना of losing money
नहीं,
and
50-50 नहीं, 100% चांस है. 50-50 वाली मैं बात ही नहीं कर रहा हूँ.
and there is a certainty
चलो
that
I'll
you
explain
can
you.
gain.
Explain you. What you are going to get in long term, nobody can say. Only God can say. Now I'm talking about the uncertainty. What you are going to get in long term, nobody can say. It's uncertain. Nobody knows. But it is certain. Please, all of you pay attention. It is certain the returning inequity which you are going to get will be the best or better than any other comparative asset within the financial or economic system in long term. Is it clear?
So that is the certainty that you're talking about. Ki the gain,
Yes.
the margins of gains are higher than any other security.
Yes. So देखो अनसर्टेनिटी तो है. देखो हम लोग सर्टेनिटी और अनसर्टेनिटी को, प्लीज ऑल ऑफ यू पे अटेंशन. हम लोग देखो जब क्वांटिफाई करते हैं, देखो एनीथिंग क्वांटिफाई और क्वालिटीफाई, बड़ा दो चीजें होती है. सो आई कैन नॉट क्वांटिफाई हाउ मच यू आर गोइंग टू गेट इट. 12% की मिलेगा, 15 मिलेगा, 20 मिलेगा. ओनली गॉड नोस. लेट मी टेल यू. बट वन थिंग फॉर श्योर आई कैन से टू यू बॉस कि what you are going to get, it's uncertain. But one thing is certain, whatever you get, it will be better than any other asset. Now your question, client in long term. Long term is also there. Now your client will say how. Today, let me tell you, there are more than 3,000 funds, equity fund. And every fund has given a double-digit return in long term. ये आपके सामने है. We are talking about qualitative aspect, better lifestyle, growing aspiration for better, more and more product. This is what is happening, na? More and more industries coming, more and more companies coming, more and more investment opportunities. मार्केट देख लो ना कहां चला गया, कहां जा रहा है. शॉर्ट टर्म में देखो नीचे हो सकता है, बट लॉन्ग टर्म में देयर इज ओनली वन एसेट. प्लीज टेक माय वर्ड, देयर इज ओनली वन एसेट which guarantees for the growth in long term, and that is equity. And the reason is very simple, because equity is linked with the growing aspiration, having a better life, better lifestyle. सिंपल, और कुछ नहीं है. हम जब ग्रोथ की बात करते हैं ना, तो ग्रोथ इज कमिंग फ्रॉम नोवेयर, ग्रोथ इज कमिंग फ्रॉम वी पीपल ओनली. ये मार्केट जो बढ़ रहा है किसकी वजह से बढ़ रहा है, ये बताओ.
Consumption.
Exactly. What's up? You have given the answer. Ask anybody, do they want betterment in their life, better lifestyle or not? Everybody will say yes. Nobody will say nahi boss, अब मैं गाड़ी छोड़ के साइकिल चलाऊंगा. Is there any person who will say वो एक्सरसाइज के लिए चलाएगा? That's a separate thing.
A fat person will say.
Yeah? वो एक्सरसाइज करने के लिए जरूर चलाएगा, बट ऐसा नहीं है कि वो गाड़ी छोड़ के साइकिल पे आ जाएगा. That's a separate thing. देखो एक बात समझो, बड़ा मतलब दिस इज अगेन आई विल टेल यू मोर फ्रॉम द नेचुरल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. एक कहते हैं ना कि एक बार शेर के मुंह में खून का स्वाद लग जाता है तो फिर वो जाता नहीं है, और यही सच्चाई है. एक बार ग्रोथ का चस्का लग गया ना, फिर आदमी पीछे नहीं जाता, आगे ही जाता है. दैट्स अ रियलिटी. यस, मे बी 2-4-5% लोग मिल जाएंगे जो बोलेंगे नहीं आई डोंट वांट, बट बहुत कम लोग हैं. सो गॉट द आंसर. सो इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट द सेफ्टी, बट दैट डज नॉट मीन, please, why I'm explaining you, because your client can ask you. So you will say what is it is very risky. इसका मतलब पैसा डूब जाएगा, तो आपको जवाब देना पड़ेगा सर पैसा तभी डूबेगा जब आप शॉर्ट टर्म में रहोगे, क्योंकि उसकी तो कोई गारंटी नहीं ले सकता है. बट जब आप लॉन्ग टर्म में रहोगे तो ऑफ कोर्स वो बोलेगा कितना मिलेगा, बोला सर इसका कोई सर्टेनिटी नहीं है कितना मिलेगा, इट्स अनसर्टेन. बट वन थिंग इज सर्टेन, वट एवर यू आर गोइंग टू गेट इट, इट विल बी मच बेटर देन एनी अदर एसेट और सिक्योरिटी. एनी क्वेश्चन ऑन दिस? चलो, क्लैरिटी होनी चाहिए, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है, बिकॉज दिस गोइंग टू आल्सो हेल्प यू ऑन योर सेलिंग एस्पेक्ट. रिस्क फैक्टर्स. नो, as just Mahak had said, the biggest risk is not knowing the risk, what will be the adverse impact of the risk, and also how to manage the risk. Now in this, all those things are covered. So there are two types of risk, standard and scheme specific. Standard is for everybody. For example, inflation, government policies, geopolitical situation. So, I mean, which is applicable on everybody. I mean, the fund manager cannot do anything for that. That's why if you look at it, we say about mutual fund is subject to market risk, past performance is not indicator of the future. Because what was true a year back might not be true a year ahead. क्योंकि आप सिचुएशन बदलते रहते हैं बॉस, बदलते रहते हैं. The factors which are impacting the market and economy keeps on changing. It's not uniform. So that's why your returns are not guaranteed, because you don't know. So standard risk factor, scheme specific risk factor, which is scheme wise. For example, debt है, तो debt में क्या risk है? Interest rate risk, credit risk, default risk, reinvestment risk. These are the risks. If you're talking about equity, business risk, market risk, price risk, volatility risk. So all these risks are there. All the risks are mentioned. What are the risks which will be impacting the fund? In what way? And how those impact will be minimized, mitigated. So by reading this, I can get a complete clarity that on the risk management side, what is going to happen. So this is given in detail, complete detail for each of the funds. So these were the very important informations. Apart from that, how you can buy, how you can sell in different type of scheme, open-ended, close-ended, interval, applying unit, what documents required, bank details, which is more on the operation or form filling, and all those things are there. How you can transact after NFO is open, what are the different loads, fees, minimum investment. There is no maximum, in fact, let me tell you. Minimum जरूर रहता है, but maximum कोई नहीं. So all those things there, maybe in some scheme, there can be a maximum limit. Then you've got different plans and options. Now, investor can invest under a regular plan also and a direct plan also. Choice is with him. What is the difference between regular and direct? Difference. What is regular plan and what is direct plan?
Sum and you pay monthly SIPs, वो वाला?
No. I have, as an investor, I have got a choice whether I want to invest in a regular plan or direct plan. So I'm asking, what is the difference? Now, this is very important for you people to know. That's why I'm emphasizing. In a regular plan, the investor invests through some distributor or advisor. Professional route is used. Is it clear? And indirectly, he's doing indirect plan. He's doing directly. So now you people will be, whenever you will be selling, it will be under which plan? Regular or direct?
Regular.
Regular, of course. वरना कमीशन ही नहीं मिलेगा, और कमीशन नहीं मिलेगा तो आपकी सैलरी कहाँ से आएगी? So you know the answer. Very simple सी बात है. घोड़ा अगर घास से दोस्ती कर लेगा तो खाएगा क्या? तो आपको घास से दोस्ती नहीं करनी है. Is it clear? So it has to go to same way. In what way you want your return? You want something on a regular basis, which we call payment of income distribution, come capital withdrawal. Or we want that regular income to be reinvested in the same scheme, and you get more units. Or maybe that regular income is invested in some other scheme. Or maybe I don't want something regularly, let my money go. Choice is with the investor to decide. Mode of transaction, how you are going to apply, physically, online, internet, all those things are given in detail. Liquidity and redemption. Let's say in case I want to redeem, how I have to go about it, the process and everything is decided. What will be the cut-off time by which I have to submit the application? What day NAV will be taken? Fees, expenses, transaction charges are there if there is any load. There are two types of loads, entry and exit load. Today, entry load is not there, but exit load could be there. Special product and services, facilities. For example, I can invest systematically, withdraw systematically, switch, trigger, dividend transfer plan. So all those things are there. We are going to talk about in detail as we are going to move ahead. From where I can get all the information? What sources of information has to be there now? Maybe website, through different literatures. How I'll know about the units, NAV, all those things. How NAV is calculated. That's very, very important. So the detail about that is there. Completion of NAV. Tax implication, again, depending upon the type of the scheme, different tax rates are there. So all those things are there. Fundamental attributes, as I told you, the basic feature of the scheme, type of scheme, open-ended, closed-ended interval, equity, balance, objective, asset allocation pattern, all those things are there here. What are the terms of issues? Vesting, repurchase, redemption. If you remember, I told fundamental attribute cannot be changed. Once decided, it will remain. But there have been occasions where the fundamental attribute has to be changed because maybe the fund cannot continue to operate the same way. But if it is decided to change the fundamental attribute, then formal approval from the trustee is taken and then also approval from the regulator SEBI is taken. Advertisement has to be there through English newspaper having circulation all over India. A written communication is sent to each and every investor in a form of letter or email, whatever the body has decided. 30 days time is given to the investor to decide whether he wants to continue in the fund or he wants to exit. In case he decides to exit, he's free to exit without any exit. So this was all about SID, which gives you detailed information about the fund where you are going to invest. Then the second part is SAI, Statement of Additional Information, which will be talking about some of the information with respect to the AMC which is managing. So who are the constituents? Sponsor, auditors, trusteeship company, custodian, registrar, सारे सबके name, address, all those things are given. Also, maybe there are 70 funds or 80 funds launched by that AMC. So there is a condensed financial information about this scheme, condensed of the last 3 years, so that investor can get an idea how different funds have been managed by the fund house. Who are the key personals, senior officials? How to apply? Again, that's their right of unit holders, different rights of theirs. So they are mentioned there, which you have already covered earlier. How the securities are going to be valued, valuation norms. Now, SEBI has already given the valuation principle on which the valuation has to be done. But AMCs have to have their own valuation methodology in line with the valuation principle laid down by the regulator. What will be the tax, legal, and general information will be there? Nomination, all those transmission of units, pledging of units. What are the level of investor grievance? Now, it's a very, very important point. Please, all of you pay attention. It's mandatory. The grievances, whatever is lying pending, that has to be given. Also, if let's say some litigation is going in some court, let's say somebody has filed a case and it is going in some court of law, that also has to be mentioned. If a court has given, or even the regulator has given some penalty or some decision against the AMC, that also has to be mentioned. So if you look at it, I mean, there is a complete transparency. If the AMC has been penalized at any point of time, either by the regulator or by the court of law, that has to be mentioned. That is mentioned there. So that for everybody to know about this thing. Yes. So this was all about SID and SAI. Now the third document is KIM. Now SID and SAI is a very, very voluminous thing. Maybe more than 100, 150 pages. मार्क पढ़ते हो कभी इतना लंबा 150 पन्ना? वत्सल?
कभी नहीं।
वंश? अरे कोई नहीं पढ़ता भाई, कोई नहीं पढ़ता, किसके पास समय है? सेबी ऑल्सो नोज इट कि वो कूड़े के ढेर में जाने वाला है. So why to print? Why to waste time, money, energy? Because they know hardly people read it. So what they have done is, there is a third document which is called KIM, which is nothing but the summary of SID and SI. The important points, the relevant points, which the investor should know, that is there in a summarized form. Okay? So the key points are there. Same things are there, but in a very, very summarized form. Is it clear? That's one part. The second thing is, if somebody is asking for a physical application form, that has to be with the KIM. So you will find, let's say, a booklet with some 30-40 pages. वो भी कम नहीं होता है, वो भी अच्छा खासा 30-40 pages का होता है. So the initial pages is all about the KIM. Same thing. And then you have got last में आपके कुछ forms होते हैं आपके. Now SID, KIM, SAI, all these things have to be updated periodically as per the SEBI regulation. And the rule is very simple. Let me tell you. SID and SAI are revised, updated twice a year, and KIM once a year. So SID and SAI आपका होता है after the end of September or and March, every 6 months, within 1 month. Whereas SAI is after 3 months of the end of the financial year, which is March के बाद आपको April में June. But what if in between there is some change? क्या करेंगे? What if there is some change? Let's say in page number 43, third para, line number 6, there is some change. So are you going to print the everything? It will be a very, very costly affair, ना? एक दो change के लिए आप थोड़ी पूरा print करेंगे. So what they do, they print that page, which is called addendum, and they attach it with the existing जो भी सिड किम और ऐसे आई उसमें लगा देते हैं, ठीक है। सो दिस इज व्हाट दे डू। तो दिस इज सेम थिंग इज एडेंडम है आपका, ठीक है। सो एज आई वाज टेलिंग यू, अपडेशन ऑफ सिड किम इज वेरी क्लियर. Sid and Kim are updated twice a year after every half year, and that's well defined, September and March. Whereas SAI is updated once a year after the end of the financial year, first 3 months के अंदर. Apart from this, there are other mandatory disclosure information that has to be made, which is disclosure of daily NAV in case of open-ended scheme. In a case of closed-ended scheme, weekly NAV आपको होगा. Expense ratio. Then उसके बाद today every AMC is having their own website, so all the details are there in the website also. The basic pictures as well as the performance and every other things are there. Portfolio disclosure has to be there, financial result, annual report, and other related documents. Now, every scheme, every fund is having a separate bank account, separate balance sheet, separate profit and loss account. All transaction which happens for that scheme is in the name of that fund. Let's say if you are investing in Kotak Mid Cap Fund, you're not going to give a check in the name of Kotak AMC or Kotak Mutual Fund. Is it clear? You're going to give a check in the name of Kotak Mid Cap Fund. The payment is always done in the name of the fund in which you are investing. Now, there are some expenses because you will require some expenses will be there in order to manage the fund. Again, total expense ratio or total expense is calculated on a daily basis. Daily basis on the AUM. So a structure is there, and if in case there is a change in the expense ratio, then it has to be updated on the website of the AMC, as well as it has to be communicated to the investor 3 days before affecting the change. And this is done either through email or SMS, whatever way the investor wants to be communicated. So आपका expense ratio इस तरह से है. If you look at it, name of the scheme, date wise it is there. So you have got two plans, regular and direct. So the expense ratio of both are different. Why it is different? Anishka? Why expense ratio of the two plans are different?
So
Kanishka?
because yes
Yeah?
sir. So because regular plans of investor prepare कर रहा है and direct plan is prepared by that person only.
नहीं, why it is different? Expense की बात कर रहा हूं मैं. Cost की बात कर रहा हूं मैं. So what you are saying in regular plan?
So it is prepared by the investor.
Prepared by investor. क्या बोल रहे हो तनिष्का? और what about direct plan? निष्का,
Yes sir.
क्या बोल रहे हो? मैं खुद ही नहीं समझ पा रहा हूँ. What is prepared यार?
So the regular plan.
अरे तो प्रिपेयर क्या हो रहा है? मैं समझ नहीं पा रहा हूँ. तनिष्का,
So the yes sir. Some mutual funds का जो हो रहा है.
हाँ तो प्रिपेयर कौन कर रहा है? इन्वेस्टर थोड़ी कुछ प्रिपेयर कर रहा है यार. इन्वेस्टर इज इन्वेस्टिंग. इन्वेस्टर इज नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग.
Okay.
Investor is just investing. Portfolio is made by the fund manager. So investor का यहाँ पे क्या role है? Investor is investing. So I am talking about when you are investing, there are two ways to invest. Either I go directly or I go through some distributor. मैं अब आपको हिंट भी दे रहा हूँ. अब मैं अब आंसर चाहता हूँ. So expense ratio will be different for the two. Why? Give me the answer. Tanishka,
Yes sir.
ये तो मैंने already I've given you the answer, Tanishka. मैं फिर से रिपीट कर रहा हूं. Let me see you are able to understand or not. I've already given you the hint in the investor have got two choice. Either he invests directly on his own, or maybe he is taking the help of Tanishka. Now you give me the answer. Tanishka, आपको ऑलरेडी मैंने आंसर दे दिया है.
So by me only.
By you
Distributor.
or by Vatsal or by Mahak or by anybody. चलो. But not directly. So why the expense is different?
So because मैं तो अपना charge करूंगी ना.
एग्जैक्टली तो इतना सोच तो रहे थे तनिष्का यू आर नॉट गोइंग देखो दिस इज व्हाट ना कल को जब ये सब क्वेश्चन आता है ना तो आप लोग एक गलती करते हो आप लोग दिमाग बहुत ज्यादा लगाने लगते हो सीधा भागते हो कहीं एकदम कभी कभी क्या होता है तनिष्का मैं बताऊं आपको दिस इज अ रियलिटी नजदीक की चीजें नहीं दिखती और हम दूर देखने लगते हैं आंख के नीचे कुछ कोई चीज पड़ा हुआ है और हम दूर ढूंढ रहे हैं थोड़ा सा ऐसा झुका के देख ले तो आंसर वहीं पे है सेम थिंग नाउ यू हैव गिवन द आंसर because in a regular plan you are taking the help of somebody professional, so naturally that person has to be paid some brokerage, some commission. That's why the expense will be there. Is it clear? और यहाँ पे आपका यू आर नॉट टेकिंग एनीबॉडीज हेल्प, सो यहाँ पे आपका कम होगा. तो ये आपका इसलिए आपका डेली वाइज दोनों का अपना अलग अलग होगा. इन इवन द एनएवी इज आल्सो डिफरेंट. लेट मी टेल यू, इवन द परफॉर्मेंस आल्सो व्हिच इज डिस्क्लोज्ड इज डिफरेंट, क्योंकि एक नहीं है बट पोर्टफोलियो अलग अलग होगा. Will the portfolio be different or same?
Different.
No, Mahat, portfolio is the same.
Portfolio for the scheme, right?
हाँ, that
हाँ
is the
वो तो
same.
सेम.
वो सेम होगा, वो डिफरेंट नहीं होगा. आपका एक्सपेंस भी अलग होगा. Then you have got dashboard on the website of the AMC. Same चीज होता है आपका भाई, basic picture and same thing which we have already talked about it. यहाँ पे एक फायदा क्या होता है on the dashboard, because updation is on the daily basis. You can get a clear idea of the return. Let's say if I go to the dashboard of let's say Kotak Mid Cap Fund, or maybe let's say Nippon Multi Cap Fund, और लेट्स से एसबीआई अल्ट्रा शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन फंड, आज जाता हूं तो मुझे अपडेटेड उसमें इंफॉर्मेशन मिल जाएगा, अपडेटेड. सो दैट इज वन एडवांटेज. ठीक है. सो भाई, so today I think most people are going for this only, but still you have to continue the earlier one also. So dashboard helps you. Same thing, all the information are there, talking about the relevant and to date facts are there with respect to the features, respect to the performance, all of the things are there. So riskometer has to be disclosed. Any change in riskometer happens, then it has to be communicated immediately. Benchmark, portfolio disclosure, half yearly portfolio disclosure by email within 10 days from each of the half year. These are all SEBI guidelines. Financial result within 1 month from the each of the half year, whenever it is declared. Annual report आपको भेजना है. ठीक है. Everything has to be sent either letter or mail, whatever has been opted by the investor. Now these were all mandatory documents, mandatory, legally binding. चॉइस नहीं है यहाँ पे. जैसे आप लोग के ऊपर भी कोई चॉइस नहीं है कि NISM 5 एग्जाम देना है या नहीं देना है. ऑल ऑफ यू नो इट ना. इट्स मैंडेटरी. सेम थे वहां पे, वो मैंडेटरी है, चॉइस नहीं है वहां पे. यू हैव टू. बट देयर इज सम वन नॉन मैंडेटरी डिस्क्लोजर आल्सो व्हिच इज थ्रू फंड फैक्ट शीट. नाउ टुडे वी आर, सिंस वी आर लिविंग इन अ कॉम्पिटिटिव एज and we are living in a very dynamic world. When I'm saying dynamic world, so today you will find, I mean, things have to be updated. So fact sheet भी थोड़ी पुरानी चीज है. अब तो खैर डैशबोर्ड में ही सारा चीज दिख जाता है. But fact sheet will form both in a physical form as well as in a digital form. So this is more of a competitive thing where I can get up to date information also which is relevant to the past data. All these things are there. So the basic informations are there. What has been the scheme performance vis-a-vis the benchmark, both in terms of percentage as well as if the 10,000 rupees has been invested. याद है आपको मैंने बताया था what will be the value of 10,000 after 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. Also, what will be the value of the bench 10,000 if it's invested in the benchmark. SIP return, pie to pie disclosure of the portfolio is there. Last day when we are going to complete the course, I will take some time and I will run through one of the fact sheets. ठीक है. The last day I will show you the fact sheet and I'll explain you a lot of things there. So you will get an idea there. So security wise, there, rating wise, there, portfolio features are there, risk adjusted return is there. So a lot of informations are there on the fact sheet, which is a non-mandatory thing. Chaliye, let's do some question and answer. Who is going to answer it? I'll ask a specific person. Don't ask. Nobody will is going to say. Specific person is going to ask. Jitesh Kumar. All of you be attentive. I can ask anybody. Jitesh, what is the answer? Jitesh,
So C.
you are saying C. Vineet,
Sir, D.
D. Absolutely right. Jitesh, you are wrong. Answer is scheme information document and statement of additional information. Now let me ask Ashish. Ashish,
Yes, sir.
what is the answer? आशीष जल्दी बोलिए quickly.
Sir, C.
You are saying? Speak louder.
Sir, 3.
C. C. Absolutely right. Answer is C. ठीक है. विवेक. विवेक कुमार.
Sir, A.
You are saying A. Vivek, you are saying A.
Yes, sir.
Aryan. Aryan Basoya.
Yes, sir.
What is the answer?
Sir, not sure.
चलो फिर not sure तो फिलहाल Prince. Yuvraj Singh, Prince Kumar, Siddharth, Yash, all of you close your camera. Kishan, all of you close your camera. Please open your camera. Prince Kumar, what is the answer? Prince, are you there? Prince, are you there? Since Prince is not there. Kishan Mishra, what is the answer? Kishan,
Sir, B.
yes, absolutely right. Answer is B. Okay. आगे तो नहीं बढ़ गया नहीं ठीक. So, Yuvraj, are you there? Yuvraj, you are there. Yuvraj is not there. He's absent. Prince is absent. So let me ask somebody else. Siddharth,
Yes, sir.
what will be the answer of this? जल्दी बोलिए सिद्धार्थ, ज्यादा समय नहीं है. पढ़े अगर आगे बढ़ना
Sir, I
है.
guess A.
You are saying A.
I guess पता नहीं.
चलो ठीक है. Vansh, since Vansh has raised hand.
A. Monthly.
Yash.
So half yearly.
Yes, absolutely right. Answer is half yearly, not monthly. देखिए, please. In fact, let me tell you. Today we are living in a digital age, so it can be updated daily by the fund house. There's nobody stopping them. But here we are talking about as per SEBI guideline. As per SEBI guideline. So SEBI guideline is very clear. Twice a year, portfolio has to be discussed. The answer is B. Which of the following is not a statutory document? Aryan? आर्यन आपको एक और मौका देता हूं. आपने गलत बोला था. ये तो सही होना चाहिए आर्यन. अब इसमें तो आप यहां पे तो गड़बड़ नहीं होना चाहिए. दिस यू शुड से करेक्टली. बिकॉज अभी लास्ट स्लाइड ही हमने उसी पे खत्म किया है.
Sir, A.
यस, अभी तो लास्ट स्लाइड उसी पे खत्म किया हमने ना बॉस. आंसर इज ए. चलो, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट शीट. नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट द role of distributor and all the things. All of you, please pay attention and look at the picture. All of you. And please hold on. What is your understanding of the picture? And don't tell me, सर इन्वेस्टर है, उसके बाद डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर है, उसके बाद फंड मैनेजर है, वो तो मुझे भी दिख रहा है. I am asking what is your understanding of the picture? Understanding of the picture. Interpretation, that's all. Vatsal, chaliye, go ahead.
So the cash flow, the investor uh, gives his money to the fund distributor. He gives that money to the fund manager, and that money is invested in the portfolio.
मतलब वत्सल तभी तो मैंने बोला कि ये मुझे मत बताओ, ये तो मुझे भी दिख रहा है. I want something more. चलो मैं थोड़ा सा आपको हिंट दे देता हूं. रोल. Look from the role perspective. चलो. Who can answer?
Approaches.
Yes, Farhan, go ahead. Farhan, go ahead.
Investor approval का mutual
फरहान
fund
अपना
का
कान से आप निकाल दो, आपका जब बोलते हो वहां से आवाज नहीं आता है आपका. That's why I'm saying, yeah.
Sir, investor approaches the mutual fund distributor and then this process.
नहीं, मैं कुछ और सुनना चाहता हूँ. देखो हम लोग अभी तक एक वर्ड पे बहुत ज्यादा एम्फसाइज कर रहे हैं. चलो अब रोल के साथ मैं एक और वर्ड ऐड कर देता हूँ. रिस्क. चलो रोल बोला मैंने, अब मैं रिस्क भी ऐड कर देता हूँ. अब मुझे समझाओ.
सर इन्वेस्टर जो है वो बेसिकली मतलब जो क्लाइंट का जो पोर्टफोलियो है, मतलब जैसा क्लाइंट उसको पैसा बनाता है, लाइक डायरेक्ट करता है. म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर जो है वो बेसिकली असेस करता है क्या रिस्क है. फंड मैनेजर उस रिस्क को उस टाइप से असेस करके उधर पैसे लगाता है पोर्टफोलियो में.
चलो ये पार्ट तो बोल दिया आपने, ये वाला पार्ट बोलो.
कौन सा वाला?
ये वाला पार्ट चारों है ना भाई. अरे चलो आई एक्सप्लेन. देखो आप लोग, मैंने बोला ना कि रोल एंड रिस्क. या आयुषी वांट टू से समथिंग? गो अहेड. आयुषी गो अहेड.
I was just telling my interpretation of this. सर आई थिंक इसमें म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर जो है वो इन्वेस्टर के पर्सपेक्टिव को समझता है कि उसके पास कितने रिसोर्सेज हैं, हाउ मच रिस्क ही कैन बेयर, एंड देन फंड मैनेजर उन चीजों को रख के मार्केट सिचुएशंस को एनालाइज करके उनको
ना
पोर्टफोलियो
ना ना
डेवलप
ना,
करता
फंड मैनेजर उन चीजों से नहीं. आयुषी, फंड मैनेजर को इससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है. पैसा अक्षय कुमार का है या शाहरुख खान का है या अमिताभ बच्चन का है या कीर्ति सैनोन का है या आलिया भट्ट का है. फंड मैनेजर को इससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है. इज इट क्लियर? फंड मैनेजर को इससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है. फंड मैनेजर इज जस्ट मैनेजिंग द पोर्टफोलियो. इन्वेस्टर से इसको कोई लेना देना नहीं है. इज इट क्लियर? एक्स का है, वाई
सर.
का है, जेड का है, बहुत मेहनत की कमाई थी या मेहनत की कमाई नहीं थी, उससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है. दैट्स व्हेयर यू हैव टू बी वेरी क्लियर. दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड टू वर्ड्स, रोल एंड रिस्क. नाउ आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू. Investor is investing in a portfolio. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
In a fund to meet his financial goal. We have already talked about all those things. But I've also told you investment is all about risk management. And I also told you mutual fund is the best risk management program. All this I have told you. Now, money belongs to the investor. यहाँ पे भी देखो money है, यहाँ पे भी money है. Please, दोनों जगह money है. समझो इस बात को. Fund manager is managing the portfolio risk of the portfolio. Whereas distributor is managing the risk of the investor. If you remember, I told you people, what will be, who are you? Risk manager. याद है आपको बोला था मैंने ना, और मैंने इसलिए अभी बोला, आपको हिंट दे रहा हूं. रोल एंड रिस्क, both are managing the risk. Please एक बात को ध्यान देना. Please all of you pay attention. Both are managing the risk. but fund manager is managing the risk of the portfolio. आयुषी, आपने जैसे बोला ना, फंड मैनेजर को इससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है. Let's say as a fund manager you are having 5,000 crore and you are managing small cap fund, for example, let's say. तो आपको क्लियरली सेबी का गाइडलाइंस नॉर्म्स है, यू हैव टू मैनेज अकॉर्डिंगली. अब स्मॉल कैप अच्छा कर रहा है, खराब कर रहा है, उससे भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है, आपको वही चीज करना है. इट्स क्लियर? पैसा
Yes,
किसका
sir.
है उससे कोई मतलब नहीं है. फंड मैनेजर हैज गॉट 5,000 करोड़. दिस इज द मैंडेट, these are the guidelines, norms, and he has to manage it. Looking at the risk of market, economy, all those things. Is it clear? Fund manager is in no way concerned with individual who has given the money. उसके पास एक मोटा पैसा है बस, that's all. 1,000 crore, 5,000 crore, 10,000 crore, whatever it may be. ये काम डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर का है. Is it clear? Now each one of you might be handling, let's say, 50 clients or 100 clients. And this is very important thing which I am telling to each one of you. Now, let's say you are having 50 clients, for example. Now, all 50 clients will be different. It will not be the same. Is it or not? Financial goals अलग हो सकते हैं, सबके नीड्स डिफरेंट हो सकते हैं, limitations हो सकते हैं, resources, they can be different. So your job is to first understand the financial goal, understand the investor, his needs, his limitation, resources, and then you have to do a suitable asset allocation. We have talked about it in the first chapter. Because ultimately, what you are looking at to provide liquid, safe growth. Please, all of you pay attention. Liquid, safe growth. I've already told you so many times. Fund manager job is, please, all of you pay attention. Fund manager job is to give the best possible return. Best possible return after managing all the risk. जो भी फंड वो मैनेज कर रहा है उसका. अगर मान लीजिए वो इक्विटी का फंड मैनेजर है तो उसको डेट के रिस्क से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. इज इट क्लियर? और डेट का फंड मैनेजर है तो उसको इक्विटी वाले से कोई लेना देना नहीं. सो बेसिकली इज कन्फाइंड इन हिज जोन. So he is managing the risk of the portfolio, and his job is to give best possible return after managing all the risk, whatever is pertaining to the portfolio. So he's going to analyze the market, economy, all those things. But आपका रोल क्या होगा? Your role is to manage the risk of the investor. And the risk of the investor is very clear. Liquid safe growth. That means whenever he wants the money, he should get it easily, without any loss, and with some growth. Is it clear? Is it clear, Vatsal, Ayushi, all of you?
Yes.
हाँ, आप दोनों के रोल अलग अलग है, बट दोनों रिस्क मैनेजर हो. So दोनों का अपना अलग अलग. So you are going to do asset allocation depending upon when he wants his money, how much should be in debt, how much should be in cash, how much, तो वो आप करोगे. And then just as fund manager is managing a portfolio which is having multiple securities, you are also going to create a portfolio, multiple portfolio. Is it clear? कुछ पैसा debt fund में होगा, low duration, maybe ultra short, liquid. कुछ पैसा में भी एक दो हाइब्रिड फंड में होगा, मे बी सम फंड्स मनी इन इक्विटी, लार्ज कैप, मिड कैप, स्मॉल, एंड देयर आल्सो मे बी इन डिफरेंट AMCs. So you are also building a portfolio of schemes. Here he is managing the portfolio of security. You are also managing a portfolio of schemes. Is it clear?
So
तो मुझे पूरा बताइए, मैं ये चारों को एक लाइन में रख रहा हूं. एंड आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू रिस्क. सबसे ज्यादा रिस्क मैनेज का रोल करने का किसका जिम्मेदारी है? आपका या फंड मैनेजर का? दोनों का है, बट किसका ज्यादा है दोनों मुकाबले में?
फंड मैनेजर का.
और आपका कुछ नहीं है बस सर, हद तो गई. अरे
अच्छा, we can still choose to not go with that portfolio.
तो दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, दैट्स योर है ना. अल्टीमेटली फंड मैनेजर, अब देखो मैं इसको दूसरे ढंग से समझा रहा हूँ. सही गाड़ी और सही ड्राइवर तक बैठाने की जिम्मेदारी किसकी है?
म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर
हमारे।
यस एब्सोल्युटली। महाराष्ट्र में दो जगह है, पता है आपको, शोलापुर एंड कोल्हापुर। तो शोलापुर के बस की जगह कोल्हापुर में मत बैठा देना, अगर उसको शोलापुर जाना है तो। बस विल लुक सेम, ड्राइवर विल आल्सो हैविंग द सेम ड्रेस, बट द रूट्स आर डिफरेंट। समझे मेरी बात? सही गाड़ी मतलब सही फंड एंड सही ड्राइवर मतलब सही फंड मैनेजर। सो इनफैक्ट आई विल टेल यू, प्लीज ऑल ऑफ यू पे अटेंशन, यू आर मैनेजिंग रिस्क मोर, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली पैसा किसका है? इन्वेस्टर का। फायदा होगा तो किसको आंख में खुशी आएगी, नुकसान होगा तो किसकी आंख में आंसू आएगा?
इन्वेस्टर।
फंड मैनेजर को क्या जा रहा है यार, फंड मैनेजर तो ज्ञान की बातें करके निकल जाएगा वत्सल। हाँ, फंड मैनेजर आएगा टीवी पे बोलेगा, ओ लुक देयर इज अ रिसेशनरी ट्रेंड, ग्लोबल ट्रेंड, ऑयल प्राइसेस आर गोइंग अप। हाँ मैं वो बता रहा हूँ, फेड हैज इंक्रीज द रेट, एफडीआई हैज डन दिस। अरे यार वो पूरी ग्लोबल ज्ञान फेंक के चला जाएगा, which is not wrong also, let me tell you, because that has impacted। बट क्लाइंट पास आप जाओगे तो और क्लाइंट को ग्लोबल ज्ञान दोगे तो वत्सल वो क्या बोलेगा? बोलेगा भैया मेरे को इस सब ज्ञान से कोई लेना देना नहीं है, मेरा 1,90,000 कैसे हो गया ये बता। यू आर गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? सो प्लीज टेक माय वर्ड सीरियसली, योर रोल इज मच मोर। एनी क्वेश्चन? एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव स्पेंट टाइम हियर, बिकॉज आई वांट ऑल ऑफ यू टू हैव अ क्लैरिटी अबाउट योर रोल। फंड मैनेजर पे मतलब जिम्मेदारी ठहराएगा, because fund is going to perform. Let's say, God forbid, again I'm using the word, God forbid, if next 6 month market goes down for whatever reason, let's say, equity is going to underperform. You will find negative return. बट अगर आपको पता था कि यार मेरे क्लाइंट को 6 महीने के अंदर ही पैसा चाहिए और आपने इक्विटी में लगवा दिया, फिर गलती किसकी थी? कैन यू ब्लेम द फंड मैनेजर? You are to be blamed, no? Because you took a wrong decision. And we have said so many times earlier, people do not lose because of the fund. People do not lose because of the market. People do not lose because of the economy. People do not lose because of the asset. People lose because of their own behavior. आप अपनी गलती से ही नुकसान होता है, प्लीज। दैट्स वेयर योर रोल कम्स मोर। चलिए, देन different type of distributors are there, individual. I started my career way back in 1989 with UTI, and at that time mostly they were all individuals player, individual ही होते थे। For example, LIC agent, post office agent, I mean, these were the people. The products were very simple. I mean, NAV concept was not there. Market risk was not there. Risk तो था ही नहीं बॉस, मतलब रिस्क तो बहुत बाद में आया है कहानी। Yes, I'm telling you, everything was assured, like a bank FD type of thing. हम प्रोडक्ट जब बेचते थे ना वत्सल, तो लोगों को बोलते थे 5 साल में दुगना हो जाएगा, और होता भी था। Because there was nothing, because everything was valued on the book value, not market value. I'm talking about long back. So what happened then? Slowly, SEBI regulation and all those things came. And the first non-individual which started selling mutual fund in India were the foreign banks. Citibank, Standard Chartered Bank, ANZ, Credit Bank, they were all foreign banks. They came when they shut up their businesses in India. They started selling mutual fund because they were selling mutual fund in Europe and USA. So they knew this is a good product from the investment perspective, and they started selling in India. And looking at them, then private sector bank, now PSU bank, Grameen bank, now they everybody started selling. So you've got a lot of banks are there. Everybody is selling. NBFC, stockbroker, national distributor, regional distributor. Now today e-com platforms are there. Bajaj Capital, let me tell you, where all of you are going to get employed, is the oldest national distributor. पता है आपको? Mutual fund industry itself started in 1964. देखो 3 लोगों का जन्म एक साथ हुआ 64 में। एक तो म्यूचुअल फंड का जन्म हुआ थ्रू यूटीआई, अब पता नहीं कॉन्सिडेंस है क्या, कांट से। इवन बजाज कैपिटल ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड इन 1964। और एक तीसरा आदमी भी है, तो
Scams.
कौन है जो आपकी क्लास ले रहा है? अरे यस। सो अब पता नहीं कॉन्सिडेंस है। तो ऑल ऑफ थ्री ऑफ अस स्टार्टेड सेम ईयर। तो म्यूचुअल फंड एमएनयू। सो मैं हमेशा ये बात बोलता हूँ, पता नहीं, और शायद इसीलिए पता नहीं मेरा लगाव म्यूचुअल फंड से ज्यादा है। कभी कभी होता है ना यार, टाइमिंग मिल गई ऊपर वाले के हिसाब से, एक साथ ही दोनों इस धरती पे आए थे, म्यूचुअल फंड एंड प्रकाश रंजन सिन्हा। सो एनीवे, तो नाउ कमिंग बैक टू बजाज कैपिटल, आई टेल यू ऑल ऑफ यू आर वेरी फॉर्चुनेट, वेरी लकी, टेक माय वर्ड, टू गेट प्लेस्ड इन अ ओल्डेस्ट फाइनेंशियल सर्विस कंपनी। अब 1964 की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ बॉस। कैन यू इमेजिन व्हेन HDFC बैंक केम? एनी आइडिया? व्हेन ICICI बैंक केम? व्हेन इन्फोसिस केम? ये सब 90s में आए। So we are very fortunate and lucky. I don't know whether I've told you or not. I was a part of Bajaj Capital. Did I tell you this thing? So from 2005 to 2008, I was a part of Bajaj Capital, and I was there as a president, and I was heading the alternate channel on a pan India basis. अब तो बहुत पुरानी बात होगी, 2005-8 के बीच में था मैं. So anyway, so today, in whatever way you are doing it, everything is being serviced by the individual. And what is important is the quality. When I'm saying quality, मैं फिर वहीं पे पीछे आ रहा हूँ. Is it clear? Now the quality is very clear to all of you. So there are different ways of distributing products. Paper mode, I mean, somebody wants to fill an application, you fill it and submit it at the official point of acceptance. Online channel partners, stock exchange, MF utility, so many computer platforms are there. Now, almost every distribution is particularly offline, yeah, like national distributors, they are having a hybrid mode. When I'm saying hybrid mode, it means there might be certain customers, particularly those who are senior citizen or elderly person. Maybe you are not so comfortable with online. बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं ना ऐसा, उनको ऑनलाइन पेमेंट करने में अभी भी डर लगता है डर, ठीक है, अब लगता है डर तो क्या करोगे यार. So that's why you have got both the model actually. And depending upon the confidence and comfort level, I mean, you should be going for that. So ऑनलाइन के फायदे क्या क्या है बॉस, बताइए, देने की जरूरत है. Today sitting at one location, we are having online training. Is it or not? Somebody is
वॉल्यूम बढ़
sitting in
जाता है.
Delhi, somebody is sitting in Chennai, somebody in Bangalore, somebody in Hyderabad, somebody in Kolkata, and we are doing training. So online का आपको पता ही फायदे क्या है. And so, I mean, you can approach the client anytime, anywhere. You can reach. You can reach client living in Dubai also, London also. So it has got a deep reach. Increase your customer base, high number transaction, reduction in paper-related errors. I mean, all this the advantages of the online. Now, as we have talked earlier, there are three type of schemes from the entry-exit point of view. याद है आपको? Open-ended, closed-ended, and interval. Now, as per SEBI guideline, each and every closed-ended scheme has to be mandatorily listed in stock exchange. That's mandatory. Interval fund is also having a characteristic of both open-ended and closed-ended. That means interval fund also will be listed in the stock exchange. So these two funds mandatory will be listed in the stock exchange. So anyone who wants to buy and sell in these funds, they will go through the stock exchange route and at the prevailing market price. But apart from that, today, lots of open-ended schemes are also available at using the stock exchange platform for buying and selling units. एक बात का ध्यान रखिएगा. Whenever closed-ended schemes are to be bought or sold, or interval fund bought and sold using the stock exchange platform, it will be done at the market price. Market price may or may not be equal to NAV. Is it clear? Market price may or may not be equal to NAV. But in a case of open-ended scheme, transaction will happen at the NAV, not there is no market price. In other words, stock exchange platforms are just a facilitating platform. Clear? They are just facilitating buying and selling, execution of the transaction. So which are the open-ended scheme that are listed there? We have got Bombay Stock Exchange. They are having their platform called DSC Star Mutual Fund Platform. NSE platform is called NMF2 platform. And there also they have got two versions, one for the trading member, that's the stockbrokers, who are the authorized member of the stock exchange, and the other one for distributors. Now, distributors can use the platform by taking a limited membership from the exchange. So, but they have to be AMFI registered and all those things are there. Investors can also directly access the infrastructure of the stock exchange platform and can do it. तो उसके फायदे आपके ऑलरेडी बता दिए, सीमलेस होगा, कन्वीनियंस है. Now there is another platform which is called transaction aggregating platform. Please all of you pay attention. This is very important. Which is MF utility. So anybody, let's say if he wants to use the MF utility, first they have to get registered with the MF utility. And once you get registered, you are going to get your personal detail, all those things are there. That person is going to get a common account number, which is called CAN number. So that CAN number becomes your type of a registration number. So whenever you want to invest, you will go and you will just put your CAN number, password, and your page will open. Now, MF utility is the only platform where all the entities are integrated. All AMCs are integrated. All banks are integrated. All custodians, all R&T, every depository participant, everybody is integrated there. Now, what do I mean by integrated? Please, all of you pay attention. Let's say if I want to invest in a Kotak multi-cap. So I've got a choice. I'll go to the Kotak MC website. I can do the transaction there. Let's say I want to invest in a Prudential ICICI large cap fund. So I have to go to the Prudential ICICI website. Or I want to invest in a HDFC low duration fund. So either I go to the individual website and do individual transaction. Or even if I'm going to some other platforms, individually I have to make the investment. पहले कोटक का किया, फिर प्रूडेंशियल आईसीआईसी का किया, फिर एचडीएफसी किया गया. इंडिविजुअली मैं कर रहा हूं. But this is one platform where on a single screen I can do multiple transaction, multiple investment. How? So जैसे ही आपने खोला वो पेज आ जाएगा, वो पूछेगा select AMC. आपने AMC select कर लिया, all AMCs are there. आपने select कर लिया. Select scheme. आपने ये scheme select कर लिया. How much amount? You have put it the amount. Let's say you are having 5 banks from which you are making the payment. You can select the bank also, and bank account number and all things you have given. Same way, let's say first I am doing Kotak mid cap. So मैंने Kotak mid cap select कर लिया 30,000 rupees. Prudential ICICI large cap fund 50,000 rupees. I've selected. HDFC low duration fund 40,000. I've selected. SBI blue chip fund 50,000. I've selected. Let's say I've selected 7 such schemes. That means different schemes of different AMCs, different amount paid by different banks to different banks. Is it clear? So I can fill in sum and through a single payment, or I can use multiple payment. What choice is with me? I can make the payment. I can do the transaction. So this is one platform which is very widely used within the industry. Online access, I can go and see all my investment at any point of time. Now, once you are getting registered, getting the CAN number, then bank detail and the nominee you have to put in. Now, there is one important thing here. No. the bank account detail or number, whatever you have given in CAN, will override whatever you have mentioned in this investment. For example, let's say in CAN, if you have given HDFC bank account, and in the your investment you have given Axis bank account, tomorrow if redemption happens, then it will go to HDFC bank. Is it clear? It will have overriding effect. Same way normally, in case a claim is to be settled, whatever the name has been mentioned, that entity is going to settle the claim on behalf of the deceased investor. So this is one platform. Then apart from that, today there are so many platforms by AMCs, and individually also you've got Grow, Kuvera, Paytm, Coin. आजकल तो बहुत platforms are. Now, what are the requirements to become a distributor? You have got to NISM certified. So this training is all about that only. All of you know it. And as I told you earlier also, it's not a choice, it's mandatory. मर्जी नहीं है यहाँ पे, समझ में आ रही बात? हाँ, मर्जी नहीं है, आपको करना ही पड़ेगा अगर आपको म्यूचुअल फंड बेचना है तो, ठीक है? Then the second is KYD, then obtaining a registration, ARN registration number and empanelment. So examination I've already told you. Once you're NISM certified, then you have to get KYD done. KYD is done by the CAMS. So again, personal details are captured, self-attested PAN copy, biometric, and KYD acknowledgement will be given to you. Then the third step is getting the ARN registration number that you are going to get it from the app. Until unless a distributor is not having a ARN number, valid ARN number, he cannot sell mutual fund because he cannot put ARN code, and all the commission processing is done on the ARN code basis. So then ARN code has to be taken. And finally, once ARN code is taken, then getting empaneled with the AMCs. अब आप लोग के केस में किसका ARN code होगा? Whose ARN code? When you are going to get into the job. Whose ARN code will be there? Okay. Taking
Bajaj
so much time.
Capital.
Bajaj
Yes.
Capital.
Absolutely. तो जब बजाज कैपिटल का तो ARN कोड हो गया, बट अब आप लोग का क्या होगा? Now all those employees who are working on behalf of any distributor, whether it's bank, NBFCs, broking, national distributor, regional distributor, they have to also get registered with the AMFI, and they will be getting EUIN, which is called Employee Unique Identification Number. This is EUIN. So tomorrow, let's say when you are going to get an application, you have to mention whether it's a physical or online, whatever way you're doing, you have to mention both ARN code as well as EUIN. Is it clear? ARN code तो लिखना जरूरी है, otherwise it will not be processed. It will not be, commission will not be paid. Commission processed होगा, commission will not get paid. So ARN code and EUIN, both has to be mentioned. Any question? So what are the details which are captured? So I mean, the basic things are there. Self-declaration has to be given by the distributor whenever they are getting empaneled with the AMC. Self-declaration about simple है, that they are going to follow ethical practice, professional practice. No rebating will be done. No sharing of profit will be done. Client's confidentiality will be maintained, not to be shared with anybody. They are not going to do business in an unethical way. All those things are there. ठीक है? चलिए यहाँ पे हम खत्म होते हैं, and we'll have a 10 minutes break, and then we are going to take it from here. So all of you be back by 5:40. All of you be back by 5:40. Don't be late. 5:40 back. So everybody is back. Everybody is back. Please, all of you, open your camera once you are back. You open your camera. There are some people who have yet not opened your camera. Please open your camera. All of you. Prince, Kishan, Jitesh, all of you. Bunch, Aryan, Akshay, all of you open your camera, please. Vivek, Siddharth, all of you open your camera. So now let's talk of the commission or the brokerage part. I'll tell you, there was a time, long back, there was something called entry load. Please, all of you pay attention. For example, let's say if the NAV was 20 rupees. At that time, if somebody was buying a fresh units, when the NAV was 20, and if the entry load was 3%, then that person had to pay 20 rupees 60 paisa for 1 unit purchase. There was an entry load at that time, long back. And at those times, let me tell you, during NFO, the upfront brokerage was paid was somewhere about 5%, 6% during NFO. And on ongoing basis, it was somewhere about 2 to 3%. Subsequently, what happened post 2008-9, entry load has been abolished, removed. There is no entry load. So today, whenever somebody is going to buy units, it will be at the prevailing NAV, net asset value, no entry load. Now, since entry load has been removed, that means no extra money is coming at the end of the fund. Slowly, what happened? Upfront brokerage also started reducing. So initially it got reduced up to 1%. Now there is no upfront brokerage. There is no upfront brokerage. Upfront brokerage is zero. Is it clear? Upfront brokerage is zero. Now the industry has moved towards trail commission. Now in only one case, upfronting of brokerage is there. Upfronting of brokerage. Please ध्यान दीजिएगा. Upfronting of trail commission, I would say, which is called carve out, and which is in the case of SIP. So what happens? Let's say if somebody has done an SIP, and there also the limit is 1% per annum. That's the maximum which can be paid. So that can be paid in advance. So it is only for SIP, and SEBI has got a rules regulation there, where a maximum it can pay about 1% and up to only 3 years. And let's say if the client has done multiple SIP, then it will be paid for only first SIP, and there also there is a limit of value of 3,000. For other SIP, no upfronting of trail brokerage will be paid. Now, generally you are charging the expense on the fund, and it will be charged, the expense ratio will be charged on a daily AUM. But here, since you are paying in advance, upfronting it, so how you can charge to the fund? But it has to be paid. So this is paid from the AMC book, not from the fund account. Is it clear? And on a daily basis, as it is calculated, it will be amortized, and the fund account will be debited, and the scheme account and the AMC account will be credited, paid back. Now, since it is upfronting of trail commission in a SIP, let's say somebody has given for 7 months and discontinues after that. What about the remaining 5 months? Money is not coming now. So in that case, whatever extra was paid will be recovered back from the particular distributor on a pro rata basis. Okay, so this is what is there. Now let's talk of the trail commission. So today the industry has moved towards trail commission. There is zero upfront brokerage. So how the trail commission is calculated? Let's say, for example, you have brought 1 crore. That 1 crore becomes 1.5 crore. 2 crore, 3 crore, 4 crore. That's the AUM I'm talking about. So you are paid on the AUM. So trail commission is calculated on a daily basis, but it is paid after some periodicity. Generally, it is paid after a month, or it can be paid after a quarter also. So the calculation of trail commission is for the day is AUM multiplied by trail commission rate. The maximum is 1% divided by 365 because it is being calculated on a daily basis. So let's say 10,000 becomes 15,000, you are going to get on a 15,000. No commission is paid on the distributor own business. This is how it is calculated. Just look at it. It is calculated on a daily basis. After a month, it becomes 853.13. It is paid to the investor. Sorry, distributor. Now let me ask you one question. Why trail commission has been, why upfront brokerage has been removed? Definitely it is not good for the distributor. भाई आपको मिल रहा था 2-2%, 6-6%. Now suddenly it has become zero. But is there some logic behind it? What could be the logic? Guess. What could be the logic for, apart from entry load is no entry load, apart from the, what could be the logic for not having upfront brokerage and industry moving towards trail brokerage? What could be the logic? Because when you look at it, this change has happened in 2018. Let me tell you. And today we are in 2024. And the industry has grown many more times from that level. That means distributors have also given money now. Distributors AUM have also grown. So what could be the logic behind this? What could be the logic? Who can answer? Who would like to answer?
Maybe it is to promote direct purchase of mutual funds so that there's no distributors involved.
Maybe? क्या बोला है? Direct? Oh
Purchase
my
of
God.
mutual funds.
But you want to say they want to promote direct option.
Maybe they want to keep it open.
Sir,
Sir,
I
to
think direct
increase
में तो
the income,
yeah. Yavansh, yeah, go ahead.
sir, to increase the income of the distributors.
I'll tell you the logic. I'll tell you the logic. What was happening earlier? Let me tell you. Because I have seen this whole industry has grown on rebating. Rebating समझते हो क्या होता है? The distributor were getting 5%, 6%, and what they were doing it, they were telling to the client, boss, आपको मैं 3% दे दूंगा, आधा मुझे business दो. Is this the right way to sell mutual fund? No, you can understand if you are selling a fixed, let's say, a bank FD में तो खैर नहीं है. Let's say post office or some other product, you can still understand. But in a mutual fund, it involves the risk, particularly risk of the investor. And if I'm just selling any product by sharing the brokerage, where is my commitment towards that investor? Is it or not? अगर मैंने आधा आपको दे ही दिया तो फिर मेरी जिम्मेदारी खत्म हो गई ना, which was happening also. That was one part. The second part was that there was happening lot of churning also. For example, आज एक NFO आया, 6% कमा लिया, 6 महीने बाद क्या किया? Distributor used to tell to that client, give us बेच दो, and the same money you invest in the new NFO. So whether the client was gaining or not, distributor was definitely gaining. Is it or not? Stock trading में क्या होता है? Who gains?
Investor.
No.
Investor.
Stock
broker.
broker gains. इन्वेस्टर उतना गेन नहीं करता है, भूल जाओ, वही पैसे को 10 बार घुमाता रहेगा. For every transaction they are going to charge you. So whether you are going to gain or not, I mean that's a separate thing, but the stock broker will also gain, always gain. Now you cannot have a stock broking mentality in a mutual fund. These are two different things. Stock broking is something different because there the whole objective is trying to maximize the profit in the shortest span of time. Is it clear? But mutual fund is not about that. Please make a note of it. Mutual fund is not about maximizing the profit in short time. Mutual fund is all about meeting the financial goal. ये बात आपको समझिए इस बात को. Of course, everybody wants a good growth of money return. Oh, that's fine, but not at the cost of the risk. So since the whole industry was operating in a very, very wrong way, particularly because all these bad practices were happening, that's why SEBI came with this regulation. No more upfront brokerage. Everything will move towards trade. Now, if everything is going to move toward trade, please, who is going to gain? Who is going to gain? And on what basis the gain will come? Let's say, for example, Yash has sold somebody a product. Somebody has come to Yash and it's got his 10 lakh rupees invested. So 10 lakh पे आपका वहां से ट्रेल कमीशन शुरू हो जाएगा, ठीक है, which will be calculated on a daily basis. Let's say if the 10 lakh becomes 15 lakh, Yash income will grow or not? Yash बढ़ेगा कि नहीं आपका इनकम? 15 का 15 लाख हो गया, 20 लाख हो गया, 25 लाख हो गया, 30 लाख हो गया. So if there is a growth in AUM, automatically the growth in trail income will also happen. Will it happen or not? So if the distributor is selling a right product where there is a growth, then not only the investor is going to gain, but the distributor will also gain. Is it clear? Distributor will also gain. So the objective of SEBI is very clear because this industry is having a lot of opportunity. अभी आपको मैं एक डेटा भी दूंगा तो आप शॉक्ड हो जाओगे. हिंदुस्तान में आबादी कितनी है
140 crore.
और कितने
140
लोगों
करोड़
ने और कितने लोगों ने लगभग म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट किया है? रफली एनी आइडिया?
40
9
करोड़
10%.
6 crore.
नो, इट्स नॉट इवन 2 करोड़ एज पर एमपी डेटा. इट्स नॉट इवन 2
10%.
करोड़. मतलब 140 करोड़ में 2 करोड़ भी नहीं इन्वेस्ट किए हैं. कैन यू इमेजिन? एंड द रीजन इज वेरी सिंपल, लेट मी टेल यू. इट वाज ऑल अबाउट रिस्क मैनेजमेंट समवेयर, and that's why I'm emphasizing on to all of you. So this industry has got huge opportunity, huge opportunity. And that's why if you look at it last, I would say decade, this industry has grown like anything. And that's why Bajaj Capital is also having a good army of good young professionals like you people. Because the market is very open. ये कहानी सिर्फ एक ही है. वत्सल, वंश, यश, महक, लोगों के मन से डर दूर करो. मैंने आपको बताया था, मैंने एक बुक लिखा है. क्या लिखा है याद है आपको? भूल गए सर.
यस सर याद है
लर्न, बताओ जल्दी बताओ.
Sir, no current
Learn to
trading is good.
learn to invest by managing risk. Learn to invest by managing risk. My emphasis is on risk only. So it's clear. You will only. अच्छा एक बात बताओ चलो आप लोगों को अकाउंटेंट से मैं समझाता हूँ थोड़ा सा. All of you pay attention. वत्सल क्या आप कुछ पढ़ रहे हो क्या? बार बार सर झुका रहे हो आप.
रहा था
कुछ और पढ़ रहे हो?
सर, लिख रहा था.
अच्छा अरे लिखो मत समझो मत सर यार लिखने को कुछ नहीं है. Please again I'm telling you all of you will be getting this video recording. Have you got or not? Any up till now? No, you
No,
are going to
sir.
get it. No, you are going to get it. Don't worry about that. Because everything is getting recorded and this will be shared with you. Don't worry about that. So you can again go back to that. So don't worry about that. All things. Just समझो थोड़ा सा चीज को. मैं एक छोटा सा सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ आप लोग से. All of you are going to join Bajaj Capital. You will be getting 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. I don't know how much. Each one of you what want? कि आपकी सैलरी बढ़े. कैसे सैलरी बढ़ेगी? और सैलरी कब बढ़ेगी? अरे सिंपल सवाल है यार.
नॉलेज और स्किल बढ़ने से.
नहीं नॉलेज से थोड़ी आपकी सैलरी बढ़ जाएगी फरहान. हद हो गई.
By increasing the sales of
जब
investment
कंपनी को
products.
प्रॉफिट होगा.
बस एब्सोल्युटली एब्सोल्युटली. जब आपकी बजाज कैपिटल की एयूएम बढ़ेगी आपका बढ़ेगा तो आपका ही बढ़ेगा. नॉलेज से कोई लेना देना नहीं है फरहान. नॉलेज इज समथिंग एल्स. प्लीज जहां मैथमेटिक्स की बात आती है वहां पूरा मैथमेटिक्स की बात करो. सिंपल सी बात है. हाँ. सो ऑफ कोर्स ऑल ऑफ यू वांट increase in your salary, growth in your career. Everybody wants. But your career growth or salary growth is dependent on, again, that only. So as the AUM will grow, as you are going to bring more business, of course, that will grow. Now, if you are going to sell in a right way, good products, right ढंग से सब करोगे, तो naturally AUM is going to. So the intent of the SEBI is very clear because since this industry has got a great opportunity and you have got all type of right products, and I've already told you one thing, mutual fund is the best risk management product. याद है आपको मैं बार बार रिपीट कर रहा हूं. It is the best risk management product. I am even not saying it is one of the best. मेरे से अगर कोई आर्ग्यू करना चाहे इस पे तो आर्ग्यू कर ले 5 मिनट. I am very clear it is the best. I am even not saying one of the best. मैं one of the best भी नहीं बोल रहा हूं. This is the best risk management product for the very simple reason the objective of the mutual fund is itself is to give you the best possible return after managing all this. Because risk तो है यार, तो समझिए आपका. So looking at all these things, if you look at it, the regulator wants serious players to be in the business and they should be doing everything in a right way. That's why the whole industry has moved toward trade. And today, let me tell you that there are some distributors who are earning like anything. Clear? So apart from that, I mean, if you are getting business from a smaller location, now India, they have divided into two parts. Top 30 cities and beyond that top 30 cities. So top 30 cities are very clear. Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Ahmedabad, all these things are top 30 cities. And apart from that, remaining is falling under B30 cities, which is called beyond top 30 cities. Now, if a distributor is getting a business where the client is based in B30 cities, then additional brokerage is also paid to that. Apart from that, transaction charges can also be paid to the distributor. Now, transaction charges means there will be some cost involved whenever you are going to handle your client, get business from there. But here the rule is very clear. The minimum application amount should be 10,000, not less than that. And if it is a first time investor, then 150 can be deducted from that amount and paid to the distributor. And if it is an ongoing client, then 100 rupees. So how it works, let's say 25,000 agar amount hai, and if it is a first time investor, then 150 will be deducted from that. And the remaining amount will be invested in the scheme. Let's say if it is having a NAV of 43.12 and 575.098 unit will be. In case somebody is getting SIP, there also the 12-month total value should be at least 10,000. If the amount is less than 10,000, then no transaction charges will be paid. But बात अभी यहीं पे नहीं खत्म होती है, इसके आगे भी है. So again, this is paid only for fresh money. If you are switching from one fund to another or STP, S-switch, then no transaction charges will be paid. Transaction charges will not be paid on your own business, of course, because you are not putting any effort. Now here there is a very important point to know. Now there is distributor has to opt in or opt out. That means the distributor is opted in for getting the transaction charges, or he has opted out for not getting the transaction charges. Because the SEBI rule is very clear. You cannot decide at the basis of investor. For example, let's say if somebody is having 70 investors. So that distributor cannot say, boss, I'm going to charge 250 and I'm not going to charge 220. Is it clear? Either you charge all investors or none. You cannot differentiate between the investors. Either you charge to all or not, none. So opt in, opt out. Has to be decided at the distributor level, not at the client level. The second choice is again opt in, opt out can be on the basis of the scheme also. For example, let's say a distributor can decide, I'm going to charge all my client on the equity scheme, let's say, and not on any other scheme. So on the basis of the scheme, it has to be decided. It can also be opt in, opt out can be decided. So this I've already told you. So whether it's first time client or ongoing, that can be known from the PAN number because all those records are later there. If no PAN number is there, no, and declaration has to be given by the existing investor, whether he's a first time or ongoing investor. Then you've got a GST charge, which is there. As I told you earlier also, due diligence of the certain distributor will be done. Due diligence. Now there are so many distributors. Some are individual, some are small, some are mid-size, some are big, national level, regional level. So SEBI has taken a decision that a particular set of distributors, their due diligence will be done. So what are the conditions for that? The distributor must be having a presence of more than 20 locations. Then the due diligence of that particular distributor will be done. Or if that particular distributor has raised a AUM of minimum 100 crore from the individual client, not from the non-individual. Individual, I'm saying both retail as well as HNI. Or if the distributor is getting 1 crore commission for the whole financial year across industry, across product, or 50 lakh from a single AMC or single product. If any one of the four conditions are met, then the due diligence of that particular distributor will be done. Now tell me, will the due diligence of Bajaj Capital will be done? Will be done kya? Is it happening?
वो तो शुरू में होगी ना, before it gets that a number.
Yeah. How many conditions Bajaj Capital is meeting? If any of the condition is met, due diligence has to be done. So 4 condition है. आपके हिसाब से कितने condition meet कर रहा है Bajaj Capital?
Sir, all four.
Probably all
Yeah.
four, हाँ.
All four. All four. All four. अब ड्यू डिलिजेंस हो रहा है तो उसका आप लोग पे क्या असर होगा आगे ध्यान दें. Why I'm telling you? Because if you go to the website of AMFI, पूरा डिटेल इंफॉर्मेशन है यार सारे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स का. How much they are earning, what are their brokerage, what is the gross sale, what is the net sale, what is the portfolio turnover. Portfolio turnover समझ रहे हो मतलब कि कितना खरीद बेच कर रहे हैं. And if it is found कि vis-a-vis the industry average, if the portfolio turnover ratio is more of that particular distributor, that means he's churning the money. Then SEBI keeps a watch, AMFI keeps a watch, because all data are captured digitally. Today there is no problem in that. So they can easily do data mining, and they can find it out if something wrong is happening. So they keep a watch on those distributors because these distributors are big distributors. They're handling large number of investors, large amount of money. So that's why all these things are there. So what is to be covered in a due diligence? So for such distributor, due diligence will be covered. Their business model, experience, proficiency in business will be analyzed. If there is any negative thing against them, maybe some penalty or uh, SEBI has imposed or some criminal case or court cases against them. Review of their associate and subsidiary of the above. How the organization is structured. And the last 2 points. How the clients are being handled. Are you doing risk profiling? Whenever you are selling any product, are you looking at the suitability? How you are recommending the product? Is it clear? How you are evaluating it? How you are attending to the client query, client complaint, how the data are being maintained. So all these things are a part of due diligence. देखिए कभी कभी क्या होता है ना, बड़ी कंपनी में जाने के साथ जिम्मेदारी भी बढ़ जाती है, बढ़ती है कि नहीं वत्सल? जब आप छोटे रहते तो जिम्मेदारी नहीं होती होती, बट जैसे आप बड़े होते तो जिम्मेदारी बढ़ जाती है। तो आप समझ में आ रही है आप लोग को भी अपनी जिम्मेदारी? नहीं समझ में आ रही तो पूछ लो एक बार फिर से। दैट्स व्हाई आई एम एम्फसाइजिंग ऑन दोस थिंग्स। ठीक है? नाउ there are only two ways by which I am handling the client's money. Two ways only. Either I am working as a distributor or I am working as an advisor. There is no third way. The same entity cannot be both distributor and advisor. And the difference between the two is, if somebody wants to act as a distributor, then NISM 5A exam has to be cleared. वो है आपका. And commission you will be getting from the product, trade commission. If somebody wants to act as an investment advisor, then for that NISM 10A 10B है exam. आप लोग में से किसी ने सोचा है वो एग्जाम देना है? Portfolio manager is there, CFP is there, and my suggestion will be, after you complete this course, when you get into the job, 5 तो अपना करना ही है. Try to give as many exams as you possible. Is it clear? And some of the exams which I can tell you is equity sales, NSM 10A 10B, portfolio manager. Is it clear? ये सारे चीजें. Has anybody gone to the website of NSM? Yesterday we were talking, you remember?
Yes, sir.
You go there and you can download, you can see what are the courses offered, and you can download the study material and that workbook from there.
So, but you said one cannot be both distributor and an advisor. So, how is the role of an investment advisor different from a distributor, and how does he earn his money?
नहीं, एक तो उनके compliances वगैरह अलग होती हैं, बहुत सारे उसमें होते हैं यार, और डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर में उतनी नहीं होती है. And you are an advisor, you are earning fee from the client, not brokerage from the fund. तो दोनों के अलग अलग. Is it clear? And the same entity cannot be both. The rule is very clear. Either you will be advisor or a distributor. The same legal entity cannot be the both. वो किसी और नाम से कर ले वो अलग बात है. तो आजकल तरीके होते ही यार वत्सल, आपको पता ही है. But the same person cannot be both. बाकी तरीके तो, रास्ते तो खुले हुए हैं. You also know it. तो वो करने वाले करते ही हैं, बट सेम लीगल एंटिटी कैन नॉट बी द सेम. दोनों अलग अलग होंगे, दोनों अलग अलग होंगे. इज इट क्लियर? So, but whatever you do, whether you are working as an advisor or as a distributor, ultimately you are a risk manager for your client. ये मैंने याद है आपको बार बार बता रहा हूँ, because you are handling clients money. क्लाइंट को देखो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, बिकॉज क्लाइंट का पैसा रिस्क पे है कि नहीं? आपका जो भी हो, क्लाइंट अगर या तो होंडा सिटी में जाए या सेडान में जाए या मारुति बैलिनो में जाए, बट कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, उसको सेफली पहुंचना है। इज इट और नॉट? टैक्सी कोई भी हो, गाड़ी कोई भी हो, ड्राइवर कोई भी हो, बट क्लाइंट व्हाट डज क्लाइंट वांट? टू रीच ऑन टाइम सेफली, यही चाहता है ना। सो क्लाइंट का साइड में देयर इज नो डिफरेंस। That's why SEBI is having their own regulation, and there is a SEBI prohibition of fraudulent and unfair trade practice. That's the regulation has been passed, and this is valid on all the entities who are operating in capital market, including stockbroker. और इसमें बहुत सिंपल है, क्या है भैया? डोंट मेक अ फॉल्स और मिसलीडिंग स्टेटमेंट। अपनी मर्जी से कुछ भी कहानी बना के नहीं बोलना है। कंसीलिंग और ओमिटिंग मटेरियल फैक्ट ऑफ द स्कीम, कंसीलिंग द रिस्क फैक्टर। अभी जैसे देखिए, बहुत सिंपल, मैं आपको एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ। नाउ व्हेनेवर यू आर गोइंग टू रिकमेंड इक्विटी स्कीम, देयर इज अ हैबिट ऑफ पीपल आस्किंग, सर रिटर्न कितना आ जाएगा? अब आप क्या बोलेंगे?
सर मैक्सिमम पॉसिबल रिटर्न।
मैक्सिमम
पॉसिबल रिटर्न।
तो एक बात का हमेशा ध्यान दो, दूसरे की गारंटी मत लेना। आप लोग जैसे ही बोलोगे ना, सर 15% तो आ ही जाएगा, 14% तो आ ही जाएगा, मतलब आप एक तरह से गारंटी ले रहे हो भाई। कितनी गारंटी ले रहे हो यार? बिकॉज दैट इज बीइंग मैनेज बाय द फंड मैनेजर ना। सो व्हाई यू आर टेकिंग हिज गारंटी यार? व्हाई यू आर टेकिंग अननेसेसरली? आपने सिर्फ एक ही बात बोलना है, क्या बोलना है गोपाल?
सर मैक्सिमम पॉसिबल रिटर्न।
शाहरुख खान स्टाइल में बोलना, मैं हूं ना। याद है पिक्चर? हाँ। सर चिंता की कोई बात नहीं, मैं हूं ना। नहीं एग्जैक्टली, बोलेगा इसका मतलब क्या है? सर चिंता की कोई बात नहीं, मैं हूं ना। आई एम गोइंग टू इंश्योर लिक्विड सेफ ग्रोथ फॉर यू वेन एवर यू वॉन्ट। सिंपल, योर जॉब इज दैट। सो अगेन, आपने जो बोला बिल्कुल सही। यू कैन से बॉस, equity is going to give you the maximum possible return, and you are going to talk about the qualitative factors. Never ever quantify. Take my word, quantify नहीं करना है। क्योंकि ध्यान देना एक चीज, हम लोग गलती क्या करते हैं, आई टेल यू, और हमें खुशी भी मिलती है इससे, कि अगर कोई हमें क्वांटिफाई कर दे। हमें लगता है अरे क्वांटिफाई कर दिया तो पक्का हो गया। बट द बेसिस ऑफ क्वांटिफिकेशन इज इटसेल्फ इज क्वालिटेटिव। कल शायद मैंने एक सवाल भी पूछा था, क्या पूछा था? आप ही लोग से पूछा था या किसी और से पूछा था?
सर क्या पूछा था?
मैं वही देख रहा हूँ, भाई साहब वो हैं कि नहीं है? फरहान, आदर्श, विनीत, प्लीज ऑल ऑफ यू ओपन योर कैमरा माय डियर। ऑल ऑफ यू ओपन योर कैमरा। युवराज, नरेंद्र, यश, विवेक। चलिए अभी आपको जैसे मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूँ। चलिए, फॉर एग्जांपल गोपाल वांट्स टू मेक अ मूवी। गोपाल क्या चाहोगे आप? सुपर हिट हो या सुपर फ्लॉप हो?
सर सुपर हिट हो।
ऑफ कोर्स, नोबडी वांट्स लॉस यार, ये तो बात सही है। तो किसको हीरो रखोगे? चंकी पांडे को या सलमान खान को या शाहरुख खान को या अक्षय कुमार को?
सर शाहरुख खान को।
Exactly. अब ध्यान दो, आप चाहते थे कि 400 करोड़ बने, 500 करोड़ बने, ये दिमाग में है। बट रास्ता क्या था? यू हैव सेलेक्टेड अ क्वालिटी, जिसको आपको पता है कि बहुत, जिसके वजह से पिक्चर हिट होगी। यू वांट टू विन द वर्ल्ड कप, किसको सेलेक्ट करेंगे आप एज अ बैट्समैन, एज अ बॉलर?
रोहित शर्मा, बुमराह।
रोहित शर्मा, विराट कोहली, बॉलिंग में बुमराह आ गया। तो अल्टीमेटली यू आर लुकिंग एट द क्वालिटी ओनली। सो क्वांटिटेटिव रिजल्ट, प्लीज ध्यान दीजिएगा, क्वांटिटेटिव रिजल्ट इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन द क्वालिटी। तो एक बार अपने क्वालिटेटिव पे क्लियर हो तो क्वांटिटेटिव अपने आप होगा। इज इट और नॉट? बट हम लोग को खुशी मिलती है, सर 8% मिलेगा ही, बस खुश हो गए इसी में। बैंक ने बोल दिया 6%, व्हाट डू वी थिंक? कोई रिस्क नहीं है, बट मिला कितना?
इन्फ्लेशन काट के जितना भी।
नहीं, कमीशन नहीं, कमीशन नहीं, इन्फ्लेशन के बाद मिला कितना?
4 चल गई तो
सामने
2
वाला
मिला।
ने जो बोला हम उसको समझते हैं कि दैट इज व्हाट आई हैव गॉट, बट एक्चुअल हाउ मच वी हैव गॉट? 1%. If inflation is 5%, then I mean the understanding itself is very poor. Let me tell you. So again, one suggestion to each one of you is don't guarantee. Is it clear? Don't make any false or misleading statement. Don't go for assumption presumption. आप बताओ, look सर, देखिए पिछले 10 साल में आपको, जैसे मैं आपको एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ, the last 10 years look at it, last 15 years look at it. What has been the performance of the all equity funds? Double digit return. Now he's going to ask you how it has happened. सारे फंड की बात कर रहा हूं मैं. How it has happened? You have to study because our economy has grown. Now, if last 10 years, 15 years, economy has grown, how do we are seeing going ahead about economy? Growth या नहीं growth? Give the answer. अरे हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं विकसित भारत की
ग्रोथ
यार,
तो है,
हद हो गई. विकसित
ग्रोथ का
भारत की
तो
बात कर
फैक्ट
रहे
है
हैं.
ना,
वी आर
इट्स
सेइंग अबाउट
ग्रोथ।
थर्ड लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी. आज से 15 साल पहले, प्लीज ऑल ऑफ यू पे अटेंशन, टुडे वी आर इन 2024. इफ आई गो बैक टू 2010, लेट्स से 14 साल पहले, तो हमारी जीडीपी क्या थी? व्हाट वाज आवर इकोनॉमी? आप कोई भी पैरामीटर उठा के देख लो, वी वर लैगिंग बिहाइंड. और आज हम कहां पे हैं? तो यहां से 15 साल तो बस और हम आगे बढ़ने वाले हैं. इज इट और नॉट? एंड दैट इज वेल रिफ्लेक्टेड. सेंसेक्स देख लीजिए, इट इज क्रॉस 80,000. सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज डोंट से एनीथिंग ऑब्सक्योर. सामने जो है क्रिस्टल क्लियर जो है, वही चीज को आप सब्सटेंशिएट करो. नाउ लेट मी आस्क यू वन क्वेश्चन. सो अगेन सेम मैं पूछूंगा. अब अगर इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड बेचेंगे, ये पॉइंट कीजिए, not to conceal the risk factors. Let's say you are going to sell equity mutual fund. What are the few things which you are going to say? Few things. First, you should say. First, I'm using the word. Dharna, if you are selling equity mutual fund, what are the few things? 2, 3 sentences, or even you can combine it in one sentence also. You must say.
सर फर्स्टली लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट हो, ऑब्वियसली शॉर्ट टर्म में क्लाइंट ना इन्वेस्ट करो इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स के अंदर.
You have to say, sir, long term. बिल्कुल clear. Long term. But at the same time, you have to also say कि सर शॉर्ट टर्म में वॉलेटिलिटी रहेगी. इज इट क्लियर? देखो गलती हम लोग क्या करते हैं, प्लीज, हम लोग आधा कम्युनिकेशन करते हैं. आई हैव सीन मेनी पीपल. लॉन्ग टर्म तो बोल दिया बट शॉर्ट टर्म नहीं बोला. अरे भैया 10 साल तो बाद में आएगा, पहले तो 1 महीना आएगा ना. अभी मैं अगर किसी को बोलूं कि सर टुडे वी आर इन जुलाई 2024, सर इफ यू कीप दिस मनी बाय जुलाई 2034 यू आर गोइंग टू गेट अ गुड रिटर्न. अरे भाई अभी वो तो 10 साल आगे की बात कर रहे हैं. पहले तो अगस्त आपको 2024 आएगा. इज इट और नॉट? सितंबर आएगा, अक्टूबर आएगा. आप भूल क्यों रहे हो? आप एक छलांग नहीं मारते हो 10 साल आगे, एक एक करके दिन बढ़ते हो. सो ऑलवेज ऑल्सो से बॉस व्हाट आर द पॉसिबल रिस्क इन अ शॉर्ट टर्म. ऑलवेज सूटेबिलिटी. पता चला इक्विटी बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है, एक 80 साल के बूढ़े को बेच के आ गए, पूरा का पूरा पैसा उसका लगा दिया इक्विटी में. हाँ भाई, अरे जनरली व्हाट डू वी से? For a young person, it is equity. For an old person, it is debt. Why? Because maybe that person doesn't want. लाइफ गोल्स उसके अचीव हो चुके हैं. अब जब जबरदस्ती उसकी क्यों हार्ट बीट बढ़वाना चाहते हो भाई? हाँ, और क्या. अब एक 80-85 साल के आदमी को हो सकता है मे भी उसको जोड़ते नहीं है उतना. अब जबरदस्ती उसको यार, दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग. यू आर मैनेजिंग द रिस्क ऑफ द क्लाइंट. इस बात को बहुत ध्यान से समझो. फाइनेंशियल गोल, ऑब्जेक्टिव, इट्स नॉट ऑल अबाउट रिटर्न, इट्स अबाउट व्हाट इज सुटेबल फॉर द क्लाइंट. So this is whatever you do in whatever capacity, this is important. Just like you are having a nominee for the investors, distributors, particularly the individual distributor, should also have the nominee. So SEBI has now today all the AMCs are emphasizing on about that. Now here the regulation or the rule is very clear that the distributor, particularly the individuals, if they are having a nominee, and let's say tomorrow, unfortunately, if there is a demise of the distributor, then the nominee will continue to get the trail commission. Okay? Second thing is, nominee may or may not be the heir and holder. कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि nominee को heir and holder जरूरी है. But nominee will continue to get the trail commission till the business is held in the name of the deceased distributor. The day death happens, let's say, immediately nominee has to inform. Then only he will get the trail commission. Otherwise, he will not get it. And no fresh business has to be taken against that code because वो code उसी दिन freeze हो गया. But he will continue, the nominee will continue to get the trail commission. At a later date, let's say if the nominee wants, he can become a AR holder. So again, he has to pass the NISM examination, KYD और वो सारे process करना होगा. And with the consent of the client, customer, he can shift the business from the old code to the new. So those things are allowed. Okay? Change of distributor. Now, we have already talked that client can change the distributor. Now, it's a very, very, पता नहीं मेरे व्यू में तो ये गलत है because I don't agree to this logic कि बॉस देखो बात जब सही गलत की होती है ना तो कोई भी गलत हो सकता है कोई भी सही हो सकता है. Is it or not? But when we are presuming that only distributors are wrong and clients are not wrong, then that is not correct thing. But anyway, SEBI has come with this regulation where a distributor can change, the client can change the distributor at any point of time. Client can go direct also. ठीक है? But यहाँ पे बहुत important है. If they are changing the distributor, they have to redeem first, and then they will go for it. और यहाँ पे ऐसा भी नहीं है. Please एक बात का ध्यान रखिएगा. If some distributor is influencing somebody to go for it, and tomorrow because everything is getting digitally captured, if it is noticed if somebody is definitely trying to manipulate the things, then maybe and the old distributor, if it complains to the AMFI and the regulator, then action will be taken place there. Now, change of distributor can happen if, let's say, two persons they merge their business. Maybe earlier it was happening in the name of an individual. Now, private limited company has been formed or LLP has been formed, or maybe somebody has sold his business to somebody else and has surrendered his ARN code, and so in that case, change of distributor can happen. Chaliye, let's practice some questions.
Excuse
I
me,
will
sir.
ask. नहीं भैया, जिसे पूछूंगा वही बोलेगा.
नहीं सर, एक क्वेरी थी.
हाँ, go ahead.
सर फिर कमीशन कैसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होगा डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर का अगर चेंज कर दिया तो?
नहीं मिलेगा ना.
कुछ नहीं मिलेगा.
नहीं मिलेगा. दोनों में से किसी को नहीं मिलेगा. वो बंदर वाली कहानी सुनी है ना आपने. दोनों में से किसी को नहीं मिलेगा. एक तो खो ही दिया, दूसरा भी को भी नहीं मिलेगा. बट ये बड़ा गोपाल आपने जो बोला है ना, ये बड़ा मतलब somehow I am not convinced with this regulation. I am not convinced. बिकॉज प्रॉब्लम क्या है, देखो क्या बोलूं, हम लोग पता है ना कॉपी एंड पेस्ट करने में माहिर है. दिस रेगुलेशंस आर इन यूएसए, तो उठा के कॉपी पेस्ट कर दिया हमने. बट इन यूएसए देयर इज अ एथिकल स्टैंडर्ड. ऑल ऑफ यू आर अवेयर द एथिकल स्टैंडर्ड इन यूएसए इज very much. I'll tell you. There, if a person calls, a client calls some distributor, and let's say that distributor has spent some 3-4 hours with that person, even if that client does not invest through that distributor, they pay hourly fee for that. आपको पता है? और इंडिया में क्या होगा? गोपाल को कोई बोलेगा ऐसे नहीं आ रहा हूं मैं 2 करोड़ इन्वेस्ट करूंगा, पूरी ज्ञान ले ली, उसके बाद क्या बोलेगा गोपाल? यार अभी पैसा नहीं है. It happens ना. What you can do? What you can do? कुछ कर नहीं सकते ना. So when it comes of ethical standard and integrity, of course we are not that much. यार यूएसए में बहुत जबरदस्त है. मैं होके आया हूँ भाई साहब. वहां पे अगर कोई सामान खराब हो गया 6 महीने बाद भी, आपको मैं बता रहा हूँ, आप गए ना, because I've seen one of my friend, his laptop got broken after a 1 year. They replaced it with a new one. इंडिया में आधे तो आप ही की कमी निकाल देंगे. अरे सर आपने ऐसे कुछ गलत यूज किया है, तोड़ा है फोड़ा, मतलब. So you know the ethical standard is. So again, here presuming that the client is always wrong, I mean, sorry, the distributor is always wrong, is not a correct thing. वही कॉपी एंड पेस्ट हो गया है. जैसे गोपाल, मैं आपको छोटा सा एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ. आपने क्लाइंट को बोल दिया कि सर मैं 10 बजे आपके घर पे आ जाऊंगा, और लेट्स से अनफॉर्चुनेटली आप किसी काम में फंस गए, नहीं आ पाए, और आपका क्लाइंट नाराज हो गया, बोलेगा भैया मेरा मूव कर दो सारा. यू आर नॉट इवन आस्किंग द डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर यार कि वेदर व्हाट वाज हिज मिस्टेक. आपने एक को दे दिया पूरा पावर की, जो जब चाहे तब करे. सो एनीवे, दैट्स नॉट अ करेक्ट. So that's why I said Gopal कि I'm not agreeable to this regulation, to be very honest. और मैं बड़ा ओपनली बोलता हूँ. मैंने इनफैक्ट सभी को भेजा भी है कि सर ये चेंज करो, क्योंकि जब बात आती है हिंदुस्तानी की ना, तो सब हम हिंदुस्तानी एक ही जैसे हैं. इज इट और नॉट? बट एनीवे, चलिए. सो गोपाल, यू गॉट योर क्वेश्चन इज ऑल्सो. कोशिश करना है कि आपका ये गलती ना हो. एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई वाज टेलिंग यू, डोंट से एनीथिंग व्हिच कैन क्रिएट सम रॉन्ग. आप गारंटी मत करो रिटर्न का. द ओनली थिंग इज लुक फ्रॉम द रिस्क ऑफ द क्लाइंट. जो है वही बोलो साफ. मार्केट राइट प्रोडक्ट. कम्युनिकेशन शुड बी वेरी क्लियर. देखो कम्युनिकेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज होता है, आपको भी पता है. कम्युनिकेशन से दोस्त भी बनते हैं, और कम्युनिकेशन से दुश्मन भी बनते हैं, और कम्युनिकेशन से दोस्त दुश्मन भी बन जाते हैं. इज इट और नॉट? सो यू नो द you people are having any session on communication or not? You
Yes,
should be
sir.
having, yeah. You're having it?
We had a session on personality development.
नहीं, पर उसमें क्या क्या कवर हो रहा है यार? पर्सनैलिटी
Communication
डेवलपमेंट
skills.
मतलब ये थोड़ी है कि सबको ऋतिक रोशन और रणबीर कपूर बना के दिखाना है, वो हो रहा है क्या? पर मतलब उसमें क्या कवर हो रहा है या व्हाट इट इज बीइंग
Basically,
कवर्ड?
she taught us about how to write emails, how to represent ourselves, majorly about communication only.
नहीं, कम्युनिकेशन होगा ना उसमें. हाँ,
हाँ हाँ.
कम्युनिकेशन
like
है,
how to
सबसे
deal with the
इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है.
customers.
अभी हमारा
या
बात करें तो कम्युनिकेशन ही तो है. अरे कम्युनिकेशन तो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज होता है बॉस. वो टाई सूट तो अलग चीज है. अगर आप टाई सूट नहीं भी पहन के जाओगे, अगर अच्छे ढंग से कम्युनिकेट करोगे, तो सामने वाला आपसे कर देगा. टाई सूट वगैरह देखो वो सब जमाने का है. लेट मी टेल यू फ्रेंड, मतलब जिसको हम बोलते हैं ना, यू शुड हैव अ प्रेजेंटेबल फॉर्म, ऑफ कोर्स दैट शुड बी देयर, बट कम्युनिकेशन इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. सो आई बिलीव दे आर गोइंग टू टेक केयर ऑफ दैट. सो कम्युनिकेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. चलो, चलिए आदर्श बताइए इसका.
Sir,
नॉट ओनली
true.
not only individuals are allowed to distribute, but yes, institutions are also allowed.
Hmm.
Who will give the answer of this? Gopal?
सर
चलो
NISM.
yeah, NISM. Okay. Tanishka wants to answer. Tanishka, इसका आंसर दीजिए. Tanishka, I've got a bad
Yes,
throat.
sir.
Please excuse me. थोड़ा गला खराब है मेरा. अब पता नहीं कल कितना और ज्यादा खराब हो जाए. कल की कल देखेंगे. तनिष्का.
Yes, sir. Sir, A.
Yes, absolutely. अगर मैं बोल देता म्यूचुअल फंड एडवाइजर,
Sir,
Fee from
AM.
investor.
then it will be fee from investor. Very good.
Yes.
Who will answer this? Anyone? Who will answer this? अरे जैसे ही मैंने बोला हु विल आंसर दिस, सारे चुप हो गए। कोई भी बोल दो।
सी।
वत्सल, यू आर गिविंग द आंसर।
I think it's B.
हु हैज सेड सी? वंश, आपने बोला था?
यस सर।
नहीं, दोनों कैसे हो सकता है यार? फेस वैल्यू अलग होगी, वैल्यू अलग होगी, तो दोनों नहीं हो सकता ना। है तो आंसर इज बी, मार्केट वैल्यू। मार्केट वैल्यू की हमने बात की थी ना, आंसर इज बी। म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर गेट कमीशन व्हेन द इन्वेस्टर इन्वेस्ट इन डायरेक्ट मोड, ये तो बहुत इजी है। ट्रू और फॉल्स?
false.
नो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर इज इन्वॉल्व, सो देयर इज नो क्वेश्चन ऑफ कमीशन। चलिए, so now we are going to do the sixth chapter about the valuation and all other things. Any question up till now? Whatever we have done. No question? चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। अभी देखिए, बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है। इन अ म्यूचुअल फंड द बेनिफिशियल ओनर इज द इन्वेस्टर, money belongs to the investor. Mutual fund legally is constituted as a trust, and a trust is always made for some beneficiary, and here the beneficiary is the investor. All profit, all losses, all gains, if any, belongs to the investor. सारा इन्वेस्टर का ही होता है, ठीक है? So when I'm talking about the investor, at any particular day, either somebody is buying unit or somebody is selling, that means getting his money back, or somebody is continuing. तीन तरह के हो गए ना लोग। Either I'm entering into the fund, or I'm exiting from the fund, or I'm continuing in the fund. The rule is that all of them have to be treated alike. You cannot differentiate. Second thing is whether I'm investing 5,000 rupees or I'm investing 500 crores. Again, you cannot differentiate on the basis of amount. Is it clear? Amount के basis पे भी कोई differentiation नहीं होगा. Everybody is to be treated alike. No investor should gain at the cost of another, or no investor should lose at the cost of another. So these are the basic principle on which whole valuation has to be done. Every investor has to be treated alike. Every investor has to be treated alike. So based on this principle, and that means fair treatment to everybody, the valuation methodology has to be made by the AMC whenever they are going to value the security and calculate the NAV. So SEBI has laid down some guidelines on based on that this valuation principle or methodology is to be there. So it should be reflective of the realizable value. That means money is invested in tradable marketable securities. Please ध्यान दीजिएगा. Infosys है आज, and today let's say if the fund manager is selling Infosys, he will be selling at the market value, which is the realizable value. So that's why the valuation has to be on the market value. It is not on the book value. Is it clear? It's not on the book value. It is on the market value. And this valuation has to be done in good faith. We have already talked about it. Stock exchange selected. याद है आपको या भूल गए? Last quoted closing price. भूल गए? We have done it or not? Yeah, we are yet to do. चलो. We have done it or not? Last quoted closing price. We have done it or not? We have done it.
क्लिक नहीं कर रहा.
याद नहीं आ रहा है? वैल्यूएशन वाला नहीं है तो हो सकता है आगे ऊपर. So the AMC has to have a methodology made. They have to identify the methodology, what process we are going to do it, and they have to consistently value. Let's say whatever valuation methodology they have defined it, they have to value as per that. The policy procedure. In case there is an exceptional event, then they will have to go for it. Periodic review of the valuation methodology has to be done by independent auditor, whether it's appropriate to the situation or not. Because many times scenario changes. What you could have made, let's say 3 years back or 5 years back, may not be relevant today. It should address all conflict of interest. The valuation policies, methodology, all those things are clearly communicated, disclosed in the statement of additional information, SAI. in order to bring transparency. So anybody can go there and can know how things are going to be valued. There can be at times when whatever valuation methodology you are having might not be reflecting the reflective value. It can happen. So in that case, if the AMC or the board feels, they can deviate from the existing policy if they feel, and they can value it on a different way. But the logic, the rationale of deviation has to be clearly stated and has to be approved by the trustee. Clearly, if there is an incorrect valuation, then those things have to be identified. Now, this is a very important thing. There can be inter-scheme transfer. Please, all of you pay attention. For example, let's say SBI large cap fund wants to buy Infosys, and SBI multi cap fund manager wants to sell Infosys. These are two different fund managers. One wants to buy Infosys, the other wants to sell Infosys. Now, what can happen? There can be inter-scheme transfer. Lekin, this inter-scheme transfer will not happen at the book value. Is it clear? It will happen at the market value. Whatever the market value of that. यानी उसी market value पे ये खरीदा, इसी market value पे ये purchase किया. Is it clear? And as I told you,
Yes.
no investor should gain or lose at the cost of it. So everything is happening at the market value. Because these investors are different and these investors are different. So you have to protect the interest of both. The only thing what is going to happen is, let's say if the SBI large cap fund manager is buying Infosys from through a stockbroker, they have to pay the brokerage charges. And if this fund manager is selling or buying, they have to pay brokerage charges. So you have saved the brokerage charges. So brokerage charges, if you have saved, which is a cost, who is going to get benefited? Who is going to get benefited? Of course, investor, no. Investor will get benefit. So if the cost is less, it is going to benefit the investor only. But everything will have at the market value. And all the documents, records has to be maintained for inter-scheme transfer. That's mandatory. And which will be audited every frequent. So mutual fund are investing in a market value, all those things are there. Sorry, यहाँ पे हम लोग नहीं बताते, अब आपको बता रहे हैं. So valuation principle is very clear. Now, money is invested in different tradable, marketable securities. Let's say some investor has given money at 9:30 a.m. Somebody has given at 12 p.m. 12. Somebody has given at 2 p.m. Investor can give money no, at any point of time. And on a real-time basis, stock prices are going up and down. Now, what price to be taken of a particular security for doing the valuation? So the rule is last quoted closing price on the stock exchange. What time stock exchanges closes? What is the time?
15.
9:15 to 3:15.
3:30.
Sir,
3:30 is
3:30.
3:30 is the closing time. So 3:30 is the closing time. So उसके पहले जो भी last quoted price होगा, जो भी होगा of that particular security, that will be taken. Whatever is there, quoted price. So that will be taken for calculating anyway. Now, let's say the same stock is being traded in two exchange, BSE and NSE. Let's say. Now, which exchange to take? Because there can be difference. The price there, na? हो सकता है difference. Even if it is marginal, but there can be no difference. So the rule is where the security is principally traded. That means the volume transaction or the participants are more. That exchange will be taken. Why that is taken? What could be the logic? We are following a fair, we are following a fair valuation principle. देखिए ध्यान दीजिएगा, फेयर और करेक्ट में थोड़ा फर्क है. इस बात को समझ में आती है आप लोग को? Whenever we talk about any stock, we can say it is overvalued, it is undervalued. We use this word or not? Overpriced, underpriced. So there is something called intrinsic price, which is called correct price. There is a methodology of calculating it. But in a market, you will not find a stock which is correctly priced. Is it clear to all of you? ये हो ही नहीं सकता है कि 150 का चीज 150 में होगा. पहले तो करेक्टली प्राइस करना अपने आप में आसान नहीं है. दैट्स वन थिंग. बट अगर मान लो आपको पता भी चल गया तो इट विल नॉट बी द सेम. फॉर द वेरी सिंपल रीजन, इन द मार्केट यू हैव गॉट ऑल टाइप ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट्स. डे ट्रेडर भी हैं, स्पेकुलेटर्स भी हैं, लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर्स भी हैं. कोई ज्यादा खतरा लेने वाला है, कोई कम खतरा लेने वाला है, किसको को 10% में कोई निकल जाएगा, कोई 20% तक वेट करेगा. सो यू हैव गॉट ऑल टाइप ऑफ पीपल. दैट्स व्हाई at any point of time you will find either it is overvalued or under. It's clear? So that's why we call it fair pricing. We don't call it correct pricing. Is it clear to all of you? Mutual fund works on a fair pricing, whatever the market is giving. Now, we also talked about it should be reflective of the fair pricing. Now, let's take, for example, there is one market where only there are 10 buyers and sellers. And there is another market where there are 100 buyers and sellers. Where the price discovery will be more, in 10 or in 100? Price discovery, where it will be more? जहां पे ज्यादा लोग होंगे. इज इट और नॉट? जहां पे कम होंगे वहां पे उतना नहीं प्राइस डिस्कवरी होगा. इस बात को समझिए. जहां पे ज्यादा खरीदार बेचने वाले होंगे ना, वहां पे ज्यादा आपको फेयर प्राइस निकल के आएगा. जहां पे कम लोग होंगे वहां पे मैनिपुलेशन होता है. ये तो आपको पता ही है ना. जहां कम लोग होंगे वहां पे मैनिपुलेशन होगा. बट जहां ज्यादा होंगे तो वहां पे आप ज्यादा फेयर प्राइस की तरफ जाओगे, करेक्ट प्राइस की तरफ जाओगे. दैट्स व्हाई वेयर द सिक्योरिटी इज प्रिंसिपली ट्रेडेड, दैट स्टॉक एक्सचेंज इज ट्रेडेड. ठीक है? वेयर द मेजॉरिटी वैल्यू प्रिंसिपली ट्रेडेड. Now, once that stock exchange is taken, now valuation will be done as per that. ऐसा नहीं कि आज ये ले लिया, कल वो ले लिया, फिर कल. ऐसा नहीं होगा. Once you have selected, identified, noted down, that will be done. But can the exchange be changed later on? Can it be changed later on? It can be changed. But the reason, the logic has to be well stated. Why they are changing the exchange. ठीक है? That has to be recorded and approval has to be taken. Now let's say whatever exchange has been taken, if no trading happens in that particular exchange, then how value will be taken? Sitesh, नींद बहुत आ रही है आपको? Sitesh, if let's say a particular stock is not traded in that exchange which you have selected, then how you are going to calculate the value of that particular stock? Who can give the answer? You will take the value of the other exchange if the stock is traded there. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Vatsal, want to say something?
No, yes, sir, बोला.
तो आपको अगर मान लीजिए बीएससी आपने दिया हुआ है और बीएससी में लेट्स से उस दिन नहीं हुआ, तो एनएससी में अगर हुआ तो आपको ले. लेट्स से that stock is not traded in any of the stock exchange, then what will happen? Then you are going to take the previous day. अगर प्रीवियस डे में भी नहीं हुआ तो फिर एक दिन और पीछे चलते चले जाओगे and last 30 days. Now, if the stock is not traded in any of the stock exchange last 30 days, that will be classified as a non-traded or untraded stock. So this is the rule which to be followed. Non-traded में आ जाएगा. अब जैसे ही non-traded में आ गया, the valuation has to be done. So for that, they are having a methodology which has to be fair and reasonable. So how they go about it? Please look at it. This is for non-traded. So based on the latest available balance sheet, net worth will be calculated. So net worth per share will be calculated. The formula is given. Share capital plus reserve, which excluding revaluation reserve, minus miscellaneous expenditure and debit balance in a profit and loss account divided by the number of paid up shares. Then the industry is having some P ratio. What is P ratio?
Profitability ratio.
Oh,
Price to
sir,
earnings.
क्या बोले जा रहा है कुछ भी?
Price to expense
Price to earnings.
ratio.
Price
Oh, okay.
किसने बोला profitability ratio?
मैंने बोला सर, sorry.
नहीं, price earning ratio. Price earning ratio. देखो P ratio बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, आप लोग को सबको जाना चाहिए. So this is a price earning ratio, market price divided by earning per share, EPS. So industry P ratio is there. So you are going to take that, and you are discounted by 75%. Only 25% will be taken. ठीक है? Now already you have taken net worth per share. That price is there, and you are going to calculate the price from the industry. You are going to take average of that, and then because it is illiquid, you are going to further discount it by 10%. बड़ा complex हो रहा है. But I am going to show you by example. So this is how they have defined the process. In case the EPS is negative, then of course you cannot take it will be taken as a zero for that year. In case that particular stock is more than 5% of the total net asset of the fund, then valuation has to be done by the independent valuer. So I'm going to give you the example how you have to go about it. Let's say, please all of you pay attention. Let's say that there is some engineering company X which is not quoted in the market. And the company EPS is 2 rupees per share. 2 rupees. Net worth as per calculated from the balance sheet is 8 rupees per share. P ratio of the industry is 12. Now you are going to take only 25% of the industry P ratio. That is 3. Is it clear? Now you are going to calculate the price of the share based on the 25% industry P ratio, and the company EPS is there. So all of us know what is P ratio, market price divided by EPS. यही है ना? So market price is equal to P ratio multiplied by EPS. So 3 multiplied by 2 becomes 6. From the balance sheet, you have already calculated it, which is 8. So you have to take average of the two. 6 plus 8 divided by 2, that becomes 7. Now, since it is illiquid, you are going to take only 90% of it, which is 6.30. So this is how, based on this principle, they have calculated the non-traded one. अब यश के दिमाग में आ रहा होगा कि भाई सर 75% क्यों लिया आपने, 80% क्यों नहीं दिया, 10% क्यों लिया लिक्विडिटी के लिए, 20% क्यों नहीं लिया? I mean, that can come. But they have followed this to reflect that. The biggest point is, please, all of you know, you are following a uniform methodology. Is it or not? You're not changing. So the process of the methodology is for same for everybody. You have to follow some methodology, na? Ultimately, how you're going to calculate. Now let's talk of a debt. Same way. Now, when you talk of a debt, debenture, there are 3 types of debenture. All of you know it. Fully convertible, partly convertible, and non-convertible. What is fully convertible debenture? Any idea?
But that maybe can be converted into
Ayushi,
shares.
जोर से बोलिए. Please speak louder.
Sir, maybe that can be converted into shares later.
Yes, absolutely right. Maybe nahi. Yes, you are right. So fully convertible means all the debt will be converted into a share at a future date, whatever is decided in advance, and whatever at what pricing formula it will be done. So that is decided in advance. Partly maybe 30% or 50% or whatever has been decided in advance. Non-convertible, nothing will be converted. So again, in a case of whatever part will be done into equity, if it is not traded, that will be done according to that. And in a case of a pure debt form, देखिए debt और equity में एक थोड़ा फर्क है. Please all of you pay attention. बहुत important है. Let's say if some equity is non-traded or illiquid, then you cannot take any other equity and you can superimpose or find out the rate. But in a debt, you will find a similar type of debt of a similar rated profile. हो सकता है ना, सिंगल ए कोई और भी डेट हो सकता है. You can also find maybe the yield of similar type. So you can, based on that, you can have some approximation and you can calculate it, which is not possible in a case of a equity. But debt में आप उस हिसाब से you can have some approximation on which you can calculate the price for a debt paper if it is non-traded. Now let's look at the gold and silver. So यहाँ पे सेबी का रेगुलेशन बड़ा सिंपल है. AM fixing pricing of the London bullion market. So their London bullion market is having, जैसे यहाँ पे हमने बात किया था ना, last quoted closing price. So there also they are having a two closing price, one of the AM and one of the PM. So all of you know what is AM and what is PM. All of you know it, ना? 12 बजे के पहले, 12 बजे के बाद दोपहर का जो होता है वो AM PM होता है, आपको पता है. Why London bullion market? Why not Mumbai bullion market? What could be the reason? आपके दिमाग में आ सकता है ना, यार मोदी जी तो बहुत बोलते हैं कि गुलामी से निकलो बाहर. अब अभी भी तो हम गुलामी है, लंदन बुलियन मार्केट ले रहे हैं. सम ऑफ यू कैन पॉइंट इट आउट. मजाक नहीं कर रहा हूं मैं. अरे यश, मजाक नहीं कर रहा हूं मैं, सीरियसली बोल रहा हूँ. सेबी को लिखो कि सर बोलते कुछ और हो, करते कुछ और हो. बोलते हो कि यार अंग्रेजी मानसिकता, गुलामी की सारी जंजीरें तोड़ दो, बोलते हैं ना, और यहाँ पे हम लंदन बुलियन मार्केट ले रहे हैं. बट व्हाई दे आर टेकिंग लंदन बुलियन मार्केट?
I think ऐसे तो we can also ask why dollar is an international currency.
यस एब्सोल्युटली यस वत्सल, वो भी बात आपका सही है. जब आप मुंबई बुलियन मार्केट लोगे तो फिर डॉलर तो ऐसे ही नहीं होगा. बट देयर इज अ रीजन. इट्स नॉट विदाउट रीजन. इट कैन बी चेंज टुमारो, आई डोंट नो. सेबी हमारा माई बाप है, वो तो कुछ भी कर सकता है हमसे आपसे बगैर पूछे. बट अभी तक जो है, देयर इज अ लॉजिक.
Is it the volume of gold traded in that market?
एब्सोल्युटली. अब आपने सही रीजन दिया वत्सल, यू हैव गिवन राइट. अब शायद आप लोग को नहीं पता हो. अगेन, ऑल ऑफ यू नो, यूके और ब्रिटेन, they were ruling almost every part of the globe. Is it all of you know it? हम लोग भी गुलाम थे. Even America and everybody started getting independent at a different point of time. Whether you have read that news or not, very just recently, maybe 1 or 2 months back, I don't know how many tons of gold we have brought it from London bullion market. Are you aware of that? भारत का बहुत सा सोना लंदन में पड़ा हुआ है. ये पता है आपको?
यस
सिर्फ
सर.
कोहिनूर हीरा ही नहीं है, बहुत सारे सोने भी भारत के पड़े हुए हैं लंदन में. Now what is happening again, because Britain, UK, they have ruled the whole world. और एक समय था कि दुनिया के जितनी भी देश थी ना, सब वहीं पे सोना रखते थे. So today, from the volume perspective, if you look at it, London bullion market is considered to be the oldest, first of all, and the trading also is there. What Watson you said rightly. Now we have already talked about in a case of equity, where the price discovery is more. So naturally, where the transaction is happening more, of course, you are going to take that. That's the first thing. The second thing is, सोना सोना ही है बॉस. चाहे वो सोना अमेरिका में हो या जापान में हो या नाइजीरिया में हो या लंदन में हो या इंडिया में हो. द बेसिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक डज नॉट चेंज. नहीं ना चेंज होता है, वो तो सोना ही है ना, वो तो वही रहेगा आपका. सो इट डजंट मेक एनी डिफरेंस. बट सिंस it's the oldest bullion market and the volume trading is there, that's why it is taken there. Now the third part which Vatsal raised, why dollar? Again,
It's the strongest currency, it's the most stable.
absolutely. यार वत्सल, अब तो सारे जवाब आप खुद ही दिए जा रहे हो यार, मेरे लिए भी तो कुछ छोड़ दो. So you have given the answer. Yes, absolutely right. बिकॉज डॉलर इज द मोस्ट डोमिनेंट करेंसी. फिर वही बात आ जाती है, वही वाली जो मैंने लंदन वाली बात बोली, बिकॉज डॉलर हैज बीन डोमिनेटेड. तो ये चला आ रहा है पहले से. So again, it is to be dollar for Troy Ounce from the weight perspective with a purity of 99.5%. But as I've told, maybe अभी तक चला आ रहा है, हो सकता है कल को चेंज भी हो जाए. We don't know. But as of now, this is the regulation. So based on that only, it will be calculated. और finally वही है आपका, क्योंकि you are buying and selling in rupee. So whatever the dollar rupee equation is there, you have to convert it. Yeah. So this is for gold, and the same way it is for silver. So any question? ठीक है. तो आपका ये हो गया. अभी आपका हमने अगले में जाएंगे, नेट एसेट एंड नेट एसेट वैल्यू. 1,000 crore has been mobilized by different investors. Fund manager is going to use that 1,000 crore and he will be buying different securities, 30, 40, whatever it may be. Each security is having a market value. Based on that, you are getting a value. So let's say the value of the assets plus whatever money is lying in the bank, ये आपका हो गया. Why we are calling net asset? Why we are not calling gross asset? जब हम टोटल वैल्यू ले रहे हैं, टोटल मनी ले रहे हैं, वैल्यू ऑफ सिक्योरिटी प्लस मनी, then it should be gross asset, na? Why we are saying net asset? The unit holder funds in the scheme is commonly referred as net asset. Why? भाई आपने पैसा को पूरा सिक्योरिटी में डाल दिया 1,000 crore. लेट्स से द वैल्यू इज 1,300 crore. टोटल वैल्यू ऑल इंक्लूडिंग कैश. So why we are not saying unit holder fund should be gross asset? Why we are using the word net asset? बताइए.
So because there is a difference, receivables.
Yeah.
There are a lot of deductions.
Because of?
So receivables minus payables. That's why.
हाँ यस, बट मैं बोला वो तो बात सही है, आप उसको थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करो. Who is the owner of the fund?
Investors.
तो इन्वेस्टर अगर मालिक है तो खर्चा कौन किसके जेब से निकलेगा? Who is going to bear the expenses? Who is going to bear the expenses?
Investors.
Of course. So what is the definition of net asset? Gross assets minus liability. यही है ना? So liability तो होगा ही ना, some expenses will be there. And who has to bear that expenses? It's the investor who has to bear the expense. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So that's why the concept is of net asset, not gross asset. सारे लोग थक गए हैं, कोई जमाई ले रहा है, कोई. मैं आज भूल गया खाना आप लोगों की चेहरा धो के आना. 7 बज चुका है, and this is going to take time. So I'm not going to. I will stop here only. If anybody has got any question, please ask. And now, please, all of you pay attention. This is a very, very interesting topic. आप लोग यहाँ से मिस मत करना. बहुत सारी चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट है यहाँ पे. आपको बहुत कब कुछ बताऊंगा मैं आपको. प्लीज मैं आपको आने वाले स्लाइड्स आपको दिखा रहा हूँ. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट आपको बता. So please, all of you pay attention. And all of you don't miss tomorrow's class. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Because the concept of net asset value is very important, because all fund evaluation, calculation, whatever you are going to do, it is based on the net asset value and net asset value. जो कि मैंने आपको पहले भी बोला था, AUM and NAV. These are the two important things on which we are going to measure everything, evaluate everything, everything. चलिए, so any question if anybody has got, please ask. जल्दी. No question. सबको छुट्टी चाहिए? अरे मुस्कुराओ मत, जवाब दो. नहीं चाहिए तो मैं बैठ सकता हूँ 1 घंटा और.
नहीं सर, दे दीजिए अब.
तो बोलो तो यही तो प्रॉब्लम है। अब खुल के बोलना चाहिए ना कि छुट्टी चाहिए। चलो एनीवे, चलो थैंक्स टू ऑल ऑफ यू, गॉड ब्लेस, एंड प्लीज all of you by 3:50 log in, and by
Thank
4
you.
all of you should be there. Chalo, God bless you, take care,
Thank you, sir.
we'll
Good
meet.
evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.